Bring the ship up to broadcast depth. We're going in.
Anybody see any good movies lately? Finally talk about this. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds because I got another show dedicated to this tomorrow coming up with me and Mike Sartain, but I would be remiss if I didn't get to this right now. I'm actually late to the show. Live from Las Vegas. This is Hello. Now it's much better. All right, gentlemen. Now you can unmute your mics as I turn off echo cancellation. There we go. Good to go.
Good morning.
I didn't write that for nothing.
That was cool, dude. I like that. That was nice.
Play out of it. You know, it's funny is like when people go, "Why do you always play that same song every time?" And like you're playing your show. I have my show intro. I'm like, because royalty free music sucks, and I can do a better job. Oh God. Okay, I got Stripper. I got Jack. I got. Very underslept Miguel.
No slept.
Who is live in Miami right now.
That is right.
The Super Friends are back together. Hopefully Ryan will join us for this one because I think this show will be incomplete if Ryan doesn't have just pipe up with something. But we were just about to say, Stripper, now continue your thought.
Oh yeah, so maybe I'll expand it more now that we're going live. So just a little background on me, and this isn't a flex by any stretch of the imagination, but when I went to university, my major was actually in English literature. Mm-hmm. So I'm very well aware of how language is used to elicit various emotions. Mm-hmm. And when I was just watching this film from like I was saying before we went live, every time they showed like Myron or one of the other guys, their music choice was very like daunting, haunting, the same tone, like the same type of music you would use in a horror flick when Jason's around the corner ready to stab somebody, right? And then all of his questions.
That's a mood. Yeah.
Yeah, like his questions, like it wasn't even journalism. They were very leading, disingenuous questions. He was pulling the sneaky slime bag, white knighting game. It was just such a disingenuous piece of trash that I now have something to hang over Jack's head for forcing me to watch it.
You're welcome.
In case you guys don't know, we are referring to the new Inside the Manosphere show or doc. I don't even want to call it a documentary because it's not really even a doc. It's a mockumentary is what they would have called it back in the 80s, right? It's a hit piece, yes. And by the way, the reason why I called this the Great Manosphere Swindle was a hat tip to the Great Rock and Roll Swindle from the Sex Pistols back in the day, because it's pretty much the same thing. The show came out, I think it dropped on Wednesday, which kind of sucked for me and Mike because we were right in the middle of doing Access Vegas when it went down. Now, last week I talked about it on my show, and I think even the week before, because they had the trailers out like 2 weeks in advance. And I honestly, what's funny to me is it's one of those things where everybody had already written the review before the show had dropped. Right. All they had to do was see the trailer, and they journalists do this all the time, which is they'll see the trailer or they know something's coming out and they know what their opinion of it is going to be before they've even seen the actual piece itself. Right. And so it's right there on tap. So like almost immediately, I mean, at a certain hour, like 8 o'clock in the morning on Pacific time, it's like all of these commenters say, I saw the movie and it sucked, and I saw the movie and oh my God, I can't believe this is a state of manhood, and I saw them, and they are just set pieces that were already pre-written and then dropped at a certain time. And the reason I know that is because I'm watching all of my feeds, really, all of my social media feeds, and almost simultaneously, it's just this landslide of Inside the Manosphere like commentary just dropped all at once. So if you don't think that this shit is coordinated, it's very much coordinated, and it's this side of this. It's the best that I think commercial media can do right now. I've kind of separated what we do online, sort of like the podcasting world, whatever the fuck it is there's engagement media, and then there's what's like left of commercial, like traditional media right now. When I went on Dr. Phil was really, that's like the dying gasps of like old school commercial TV media. And the thing that struck me the most when I went into that, from that whole experience, which was pretty fucked up. I really need to do an expose on that at some point, but I don't think anybody would care at this stage. But the thing that struck me the most was how controlled the whole thing was. Like from start to finish, the handlers who would bring in the guests, the studio audience all have their cue cards. They're all supposed to ask them at a certain time because they've got like the little time cue thing going on in the studio there. The choice of the chairs, where they have like, you look like a toddler on those chairs because your feet are like dangling off the edge of those chairs. And I know that they do that because they need to lift you up above the audience so that the TV and the cameras can get you at a certain angle. But it sort of puts everybody into this state of like, I don't know, powerlessness, I guess, except for Dr. Phil, right, who's right in the middle of the whole clusterfuck. But the thing that got me is everything is like pretty much taken care of. Like all the audio is everything's very professional. They have an army of people who produce that show. Now that's just Dr. Phil. Okay, that's not like a documentary. That's not like everybody is going out and grabbing raw footage and then putting together stuff in post-production. And I know that Myron has already done a show on this really quickly. I'm going to comment on that. And by the way, there's standard caveats for this show. Everybody's going to catch strays on this show today. I'm sorry to say. None of this is flame. None of this is shots fired. But I'm just going to say that like this was a bad fucking idea from the jump. And y'all should have known better. Okay, you all should have fucking known better, right?
What did you do for that branding?
The same people who bitched and complained and cried a fucking river about the Vice documentary that came out about Andrew Tate, or the BBC going in there, and Andrew Tate invited them in to the war room to go. And what did you think was going to happen? What, honest to God, like what was the cost to benefit? Rationale for that, for when you had Vice and the BBC. So if you didn't learn your lesson from that, when this guy, it takes all of 5 minutes, it takes all of like 3 minutes to do a background check and to just figure out who this guy Thoreau is. Like you didn't bother to go and see that this guy is known for doing attack pieces. He's known for doing this kind of like journalism or whatever it is. But but you know what? The clicks and the attention and the engagement you thought you were going to get as a result of this, that was worth selling out your mission, in this case, in some cases, selling out your business. Now, the people that they went after, like Sneeko, I expect it from. Sneeko is just he's like an eel in the weeds, man. He just switches and flip flops and blows whichever way the wind fucking blows, right? So to say Sneeko is part of the Manosphere is absolutely ridiculous. That just completely disqualifies this whole show from the rip right there. The fact that they would have HS Tiki Taki on there. Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, who is that?
I don't know who that is.
Like HS Tiki Taki is a non-player. He's an NPC. The only reason I even know his name is because he beat the fuck out of John Zerka.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh my God.
Because that in my book, anyways, that put HS on the map, right? And John Zerka just basically shriveled up and blew away after that. And now Zerka tries to come back, and everybody goes, "Well, you don't know, you don't follow Zerka, whatever." I'm like, do I need to? And so like I'm looking at HS Tiki Taki, and I'm like, they just wanted Andrew Tate. They just wanted Tate, and they couldn't get Tate. Now Tate's saying, well, I was smart enough not to participate in this, and maybe he was, right? But then he's gonna come up with this cock and bull story about like, oh, they couldn't afford my prices or anything like that. It's like, you didn't charge PBD for your personal PBD. Don't give me this shit, right? You're like, it's not about the money. It's like you just didn't want to do it with this guy, and maybe wisely so, right? But the same thing happened with me with Dr. Phil. They wanted Andrew Tate. That whole show was basically to run Andrew up the flagpole. And so they were showing all these clips of him because they couldn't get him there. The producers, the first thing they asked me before the show even started was, can you get Andrew? Because they knew that I knew Andrew. And I texted him at that time. I said, hey, do you want to be on the show? He's like, no, I'm not setting foot in the United States. And now we know why. And then I'm like, okay, fine. And then they came back to me and they said, well, can you get him on Skype? They really wanted him bad, right? They wanted him remote if they couldn't get him any other way. And then I ran it by Andrew again, and he said, no, he didn't want to do the show whatsoever. Which is interesting to me because it's Dr. Phil. And it's a big deal. It's commercial television. It's like international, millions of people watching. But I think he knew that, Dyko and the rest of these guys were like moving in on him, and he didn't want to like make too big of a deal of himself at that point. And for whatever reason, he didn't want to do it. Right. And so they had to settle for me. I was like the Andrew Tate understudy for the Dr. Phil show. And that's basically what HS Tiki Taki was for this show. He was the understudy. He was, well, we can't get Tate, so who's the next best dude? This guy kind of sounds like Tate. He kind of looks like Tate. He has an accent like Tate, and he has the same kind of, full of himselfness like Tate. And so that's why they went with it with Tiki, because where does this guy come from? Who even is this dude? Right?
Wish.com Tate. It's like I was watching it. I'm like, I've never heard of this guy. I've never seen him, but he kind of resembles what Tate does because he had OnlyFans girls or something that worked for him. I'm like, that's kind of like Tate, but this guy isn't Tate. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
And also, what I noticed about this whole thing, the guy, what's his name, Louis kept. It was so strange because he's like, oh, you have all these girls around you. Do these girls like it? And then the guy goes, yeah, no, they don't mind. Oh, are you sure about that? Like, oh, what does your mom say about this? And it's like, all of it was just more.
My mom's in the back right now, pimping them right now.
Yeah, no, but he accidentally, and maybe I was the only one who noticed this, but he kind of made the guys look better. With the Waller part, I did think Waller was a bit out to like bait Louis, where I'm like, okay, Waller, if you just stand there and do nothing, you're good. People are going to look at you. It's like, you got this 6'8" tall, ginger, square jawline guy. You're good. But then he kind of tried to bait him. I was like, that kind of looks bad. But with his wife as well, it's like, are you okay with this? And Justin, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like he takes care of me. I take care of him in the ways I can. And all Louis did was make himself look very petty, in all honesty.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's his shtick, though, right? I mean, that's his. That's his character. He plays a character on all of these things. That's I went and did a little bit of a check on him, like looking at some of his other shit that he's done, and that's his MO. And Stripper, you're right. It's like everything is like managed, like the whole the music in the background, even the trailer music. It sounds like the Baby Elephant song from the circus or some shit. And it's meant to make these guys seem like like they're clowns. Like you associate that music with clowns.
What's really funny? If you take this out of music production and film production and take those exact same behaviors and map them to just a normal relationship, romantic, friendship, whatever, that's narcissism to a T. Yeah, like none of the people being interviewed were being interviewed. They were set pieces to validate a narrative.
Oh yeah, especially like from the jump. They're like even on the even in the trailer when the thing that you want to look at, like, I mean, obviously you want to watch the whole thing, but like if you look at the trailer in comparison to the actual 90-minute documentary, and you look at the clips and you look at the parts that they took out of it to use as the trailer to get people to watch it, That's how you know what the motive is for that's the narrative of the actual piece, right? So if you go back and you look at the trailer and you look at when he's interviewing, he's not even interviewing. He's just like, he's got
scolding.
HS, yeah, he's scolding, but he's got HS Tiki-Taki on there. And HS starts playing to the camera, right? Because I'm playing to the camera right here, right now. This is what we fucking do, right? This is engagement media. It is is guy to camera, right? So he's talking to the camera because that's his audience, not Louis Theroux. And so what does Louis Theroux do? He's like, who are you talking to? The audience, dumb fuck. That's where the audience is, right? But he's like, no, that's not how we do this. Like, you're supposed to talk to me, right? As if he's stupid for doing that. It's like, no, he's not stupid for doing that. It's just a different form of media. It's the same thing. Like when I was on Dr. Phil, and I did the show. I did an Access Vegas show like on the same day. Like I flew to Vegas and did Access Vegas that same night, and I was talking about this. And the thing is like, as I said, it's all super controlled. But there's a qualifiable difference between super controlled, tightly, for TV commercial production of video and what you and I are doing right now, what everybody's doing right now. When I was on Access Vegas, when I'm talking to the audience, right, I'm looking at the chat. The people in the chat get to decide. I'll post something on the screen. I'll superimpose something on the screen, right? If you get a super chat, great. By the way, if you have questions, please, or comments, please throw it out there. But the audience is part of the show. That's it. That's the difference. That's why Louis Theroux is like a dinosaur compared to HS Tiki-Taki, who is like basically no one in the Manosphere, but he doesn't know that, right? So when he starts playing to the camera, it's like, yeah, because that's what we do now, because it's engagement media. I want to know what the audience is thinking. I want to know that. I don't get that on Dr. Phil. I don't get that in a documentary. I don't get that in any pre-record. That's why maybe I'm like jaded this way, but I have way more respect for people who do live streams than everybody who just does pre-recorded material all the time, because you can control pre-recorded material. You're not going to be able to control the audience. It takes ball. Trust me, I've been doing this forever. It takes balls of steel to see somebody spamming Rolo likes Lisa Sparks in the commentary, or whatever. Because that's why I have mods, and that's why I have Kyle as my producer right now. But yeah, it's having that form of engagement. And that's where we're going right now. And I don't think, honestly, I think documentaries like this are sort of a dying breed, because people want to say shit about that documentary live in real time. They will go, I don't know if anybody's done this, but they will go and have like a viewing party, like a viewing thing with the chat going right there, so everybody can talk about it right then and there. Guys, if you're a traditional filmmaker of some sort, I know that you want everybody to respect your craft, but the thing is people want to be engaged. They want engagement media. That's where we're going right now with all this.
Well, even outside of that, it's just slop. Like, I personally loved documentaries when I was a teen and in my 20s, but the problem is they haven't made a legit documentary in over a decade, because I think the last one I tried to watch was on Rome, and within half an hour, they tried to argue that everyone in Rome was a gay trans pedo. Like, there's no such thing as a documentary where someone goes in, like, there's always going to be bias. It's just built into humans. But there used to be documentaries where people went in and explored both sides and tried not to make a judgment. It was there for educational purposes. Those films are no longer being made. Anything that claims to be a documentary is actually like this, where it's just a hit piece or something to push a narrative or an agenda. It's all slop. And like, I have no interest in that crap. And I'm sure a lot of people don't have interest, but enough do that they still keep getting made for some reason.
But we all know why this came out now, right?
Yeah.
Stating the obvious here. I mean, the Americans have got an election coming up, the midterms. And not only that, but Rupert Lowe is gaining a lot of traction with a lot of British young men. If you've kept your eyes on England, and they don't like that. And Louis just happened to be British. just happened to be.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden this drops. It's like, guys, it's very simple. They're trying to control the narrative. And this was a controlling the narrative moment. Look at these evil men doing these evil things. But it's like, I can't fathom a young guy watching that and look at HS Tiki Talk and be like, wait, he lives in Malaga, Spain? And he's having a cool life in sunny Spain? Like, why wouldn't I want that? I look at Louis and he's kind of scrawny and gay and kind of, Vici meek. Why wouldn't I want this? And Justin Waller looks pretty cool. He's got a nice car. He's got an amazing condo. And he made something of himself, and he's absolutely jacked. Why wouldn't I want to be like this? Why should I listen to Louis? That's why I think he really missed the mark, where it's like, no, you kind of make yourself look worse. Now, of course, for your average soccer mom watching this, she's going to like grab her pearls and like, oh my God, this is horrible.
It's nonstop right now on Twitter. It's just like, oh, see, I knew it. That finally these guys get their justice. Finally, somebody's holding Myron accountable, blah, blah, blah. But Miguel, you just did a show with Myron and or Fresh. Did you do the Fresh, or was it with?
It was just with Fresh. Myron was a little under the weather and stuff like that. But we're going to do some shows on Monday, basically. So
what's the attitude? Did Fresh have anything to say about the documentary while you were there?
Man, I mean, not to put words in his mouth, but he's like, man, that shit was some bullshit. Straight up on Fresh, that was some fucking bullshit, bro.
That's like he's just like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, that was some fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what kind of was saying. I mean, they're just kind of laughing about it, basically. I mean, I'll get Myron's take, once I actually see him on Monday. And stuff.
I was just curious because, like, yeah. I don't want to step on anybody right now, but
But I mean, I know why they said yes. I know why all of them said yes. Netflix,
well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. I mean, that's real. I mean, let's be for real. That's 100% the reason.
Yeah, but
if it's a Tubi,
Fresh is like nowhere to be found in it, though. I mean, unless you count just the video happens to be in, but like, I think Fresh probably avoided it. Like with, I don't know why he would, of all people too, right? I would wonder why Fresh didn't want to be involved in the whole thing, but maybe they didn't want Fresh. They just wanted Myron, right? Because Myron's out there talking crazy. He's talking crazy, right? They
probably would have wanted Fresh because they would have made the situation look worse, because they'd have another attack vector or just another person to like find some chip in the armor. That's it, right?
Yeah, he's like Fresh is obvious, right? I mean, he's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I think people really underestimate. Like he's like one of these guys who plays a sucker to catch a sucker, right? He seems like he's just this dumb coconut eating kid from Barbados, right? He is smart as dude.
No, I know he's fucking smart. He's a connector.
He will lap you. He knows so much about media. And he knows how to set stuff up, and he knows how to run a scandal and do controlled burns and everything else. Yeah. He knows how to do that. I learned what a controlled burn was from Fresh, right? But
controlled burn.
Controlled burn is like, for here, a good example of this is like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is back in like August of 2021, and it's when Abba and Preach first came at Myron and Fresh. Mm-hmm. And I remember it distinctly because I was there in Miami when it happened
3,000 years ago.
And it doesn't seem like they were there with me too. Just saying, okay. But I was there, and I even had an extra day, and I watched this come out, and I'm like, I instantly talked because I was right there. I said, hey, let's do a show and nip this in the bud. Let's go kick these guys in the nuts, right? And they wouldn't do it. Like Myron and Fresh didn't want to do sort of a rebuttal or a response to Abba and Preach at that time. Obviously, they have done so like this year and last year for sure, because now it's worth their while. But back then, it didn't seem like it was worth their while, and they were blowing it off. And I didn't realize then that this was a controlled burn for Fresh. Like Fresh, sometimes it happens, and sometimes you can like manipulate it yourself. Okay, so what it is it's like a scandal that you initiate yourself, that you already have the end result. You've got everything that's going to exonerate you, right? So you let the scandal run, let everybody talk it up, and then you're going to lose subscribers, right? So when Abba and Preach went and started talking shit about Myron, they thought, oh, this is the end. They literally said this is the end of Fresh and Fit, right? in August of 2021. And so So they start talking about him, and they lost like 30,000 subscribers from August till about mid-September because of this, right? But the thing is if you go back and you look at like playboard.co, or you look at like Social Blade, and you look at their super chat takes for the months of August and for September, they were the number one most super chatted show on planet Earth, all niches, all internationally. Okay. Like they were the most super chatted show in the world during that time. And they brought in somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million or $150,000 in that one in just the month of August. And I forget what it was in September. So they essentially traded 30,000 subs for $150,000.
So they just got rid of fair weather subscribers then.
And then, but here's the thing is then this is before they were above 1 million, right? So by the time they got to October, I think they were in the 300 range when they lost all of them. They were like at 460 by October. So they had earned all of them back. It was well worth the investment. They let it burn. They fired back, of course, and everybody wanted to take their side, and everybody wanted to super chat, and they made bank off of and this is not ad revenue. This is not like all the other side hustles they have going as a part of this. This is just super chats. You want to know where that McLaren came from? Thank you, Abba and Preach. Fresh a fucking McLaren, by talking shit about him. And Fresh just went with it. I don't think Fresh initiated that, but then, do you guys remember Miranda? Nobody remember?
The Asian one?
I remember. No, that's Ling Ling, the one that came before her, right? And everybody thought he was simping and everything else. You actually had him on my show. And he was live streaming from his Lamborghini with Miranda in the car at that time. And he was just, because again, it might have been, something he initiated. But the thing is like Fresh will never let a good scandal go to waste, right? Ling Ling in the wait, where is it? Let's see if I got it. Do I have it here?
Do you think that was the motivation for most guys to do it?
Well, definitely not. Here, this is how I got this sound drop.
God wants you to have the baby.
Definitely not.
There will never be a better Fresh than
Definitely
that.
I remember this now. I remember this.
Harder than that, man. Never. And everybody was talking about it, and imagine the kind of engagement that he got as a result of that. Yeah. You'll see the same thing happens with, like, remember when Adam 22 was going to let Jason Love like bang his Lena the Plug, right? Remember that build up?
Which time?
Yeah. But see, so he talked it up, and he what was funny is like when he announced that, he happened to have Destiny in studio, and that happened too. And so what these guys do is they plan shit like this. They know that this is going to go big. And so the hype ends up generating more engagement than the actual event. So, it's a porn movie, but with Lena the Plug and Jason Love, right? They might have had this set up from the beginning, but they wanted to hype it up, and that's what they did. Hell, DJ Academics had a watch party for this thing when it went on, right? And it was just... and I was looking at this, I go, does anybody see how the genius of Adam 22? It literally is. It's an evil genius, but he knows what he's doing when it comes to engagement media, because everybody was talking about it. Hell, even Matt Walsh picked up, I would never let anybody rail my wife. It's cheap, easy content for him, and all it does is just build up a No Jumper and Adam 22, right?
You and I went back and forth on that back then, because I didn't understand it. And you were like, Jack, stop moral fagging. He has more cars than you can ever imagine. He's doing this on purpose. Yes, and then slowly but surely I started.
Well, I mean, if that wasn't enough to convince you, then what about the 30-second boxing match between him and Jason Love, sponsored by Aiden Ross, by the way. But Aiden Ross threw his hat in the ring here to promote that whole thing. And everybody was just jumping in on it. Same thing happened with, was it Logan Paul, when he was going to marry that girl who's like the super slut girl? I forget her name.
Nina? No.
Something.
There's so many, Rolo.
Even Adam Sosnick got with that girl. Wow. Yeah, because he told me she was an ex of his at some point. But what was the fighter that fought Logan Paul right before, like when he announced or he proposed he was going to marry this chick, and that I forget the dude's name, I forget whatever, but he was like talking about how he's going to beat his ass and how his wife's a slut and all this other stuff, and everybody piles on, and so what do? They want to watch Logan Paul beat the fuck out of this guy, right, or vice versa. So you take an event, and then you make this scandalous event, and then what happens is the event itself is just, is insignificant. It's the hype that happens around it and getting people to engage around that. That's sort of the meta form of engagement media, which is what's going on right now with the Manosphere thing. The Manosphere, the documentary is just a piece of shit. Everybody knows it, but you know what's not a piece of shit? All of the engagement that's going on around it. Everybody talking about it. It's cheap. Hell, we're doing it right now, right? It's cheap, easy content for everyone. And I guarantee you, Matt Walsh will start talking about it. I guarantee you're going to hear it from Brett Cooper.
Chris Wilson,
if they haven't already done them, right?
Chris Wilson just dropped a 1.5 hour interview with Louis.
Yeah,
Modern Wisdom.
Yeah. I watched that too. I'm going to do another show with
that's going to be my Monday show. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm going to be
fun.
I'm going to have Mike Sartain and I were talking about we had to do a show, so we just decided to do it on my Sunday show. But yeah, I mean that's the long and the short of it. You got to remember that everything that you're watching, especially on Netflix, what gets me is this: is like people will say, Netflix is woke, or Netflix is woke because you'll be in the middle of some like really cool series, like you'll be like episode 3, and then 2 guys start kissing, and so you're like torn. You're like, I like this story, but it's like, I don't want to have these unnecessarily gay characters, right?
Or my favorite, a strong, independent black woman shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
with the haircut.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do that strategically at the 3rd or 4th episode, so you're already invested in the show and you have to keep watching. But
they pulled that shit with Castlevania season 2. I was so pissed off. Like, all of a sudden, Alucard was bisexual. Like, what?
Oh, that shit. Yeah. What the fuck was that, dude? That threw me for a loop. It's like these fucking weirdo people, and then like, all right, and then they just start all fucking each other. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the son of Dracula? Like, really? We're doing this? It was only 5 minutes, and then they go back to like vampire slaying, where it's like, wait, what? What? Huh? Where it's like, well, Alucard's gay now. It's canon. Where it's like,
it's canon.
We got to do it like China. We just cut that out.
You know what killed me? And it was such a good series up until that point. But like, did you guys ever watch Black Sails?
No.
You know why I never watched it? Because of the thing you're now gonna address.
So fucking good. It was absolute masterpiece of like getting all the most notorious pirates together all in one show, like Blackbeard and Jack Rackham and everybody else. And then there's Flint. And Flint is the sort of repressed. He's the main character in the show, right? And he has this love interest, this female love interest, and you're thinking, oh, this is awesome and everything. Nope, turns out he's gay. Turns out he had one fling with some like English nobleman, and that was enough to send him off into a life of piracy or something like that. And at the end of the show, of course, he reconciles and he gets back with this chick or with this guy on some plantation for reformed criminals of the British Empire or something like that. And it is just such like woke service. And I'm like, it was a fantastic, Charles Vane, Captain Charles Vane, Blackbeard was in it. What's his name? Captain Teach was in it. There's so many good characters. It's so well shot. So much money went into this thing, and they just ruined it with that.
So wait, after his same-sex relationship, he went to do a life of crime and derailed?
More or less.
A little bit of subliminal messaging there.
Yeah. Well, and then you got to remember that when people are writing for series right now, it's lazy writing. They're writing to continue the series is what it is. It's churn marketing.
The one series I'm really scared about them ruining is Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That first season.
Yeah. Oh, they're already doing it. They're already casting diversity hires for season 2.
But here's kind of the one good thing I've heard about it with all right. So that white dude that they made black. He's supposed to be the most despicable, horrible person, smells like shit. He's like a fucking horrible person, like borderline rapist, and they made him black. which they made like it's like they're like they made the absolute worst race swap ever.
And what's next? Tarzan, the Disney version? They don't.
Oh, bro, I give respect for that shit, bro. If they went with it, bro, I'd be like, I feel like, all right.
So
I'm gonna let this one go.
The same critics, the same people who will cry a river about how Netflix is woke and how they have to like push in like all this wokesy agenda, which they're not incorrect. They are. But when Louis Theroux does something on the Manosphere, something that aligns with their whatever their bias is or whatever their take is on pro masculinity, red, whatever the fuck you want to call it at this time, they're all on board with it. No, there's no agenda. No, nothing like that whatsoever. Right? No, yeah, you're right about those shows where they, two guys start kissing in the middle of the series. But no, when Louis does it, it's okay. Because it's like, no, they have an agenda and they wrote to that agenda. They said that from the jump they did. And I can fucking prove it because I have this. Where'd it go?
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I got this. I love this one. I used to be a big fan of Louis Theroux's doc. This is one of the comments I pulled from, this is from the interview with Chris Williamson and Louis Theroux. Okay, this is one of the comments. I used to be a big fan of Louis Theroux's documentaries until I worked with his production company, Mindhouse, on a Passport Bros documentary, which I don't think ever saw the light of day. My experience was that the narrative felt largely predetermined before filming. Over several weeks, there was a clear effort to guide situations towards specific outcomes that would fit the story they wanted to tell. 2 weeks turned into 45 minutes. I should also point that's probably what happened with this too. What surprised me the most was the contributor agreement, which includes a very strict gag clause that prevents participants from publicly defending themselves once the documentary airs. I'm currently involved in a legal dispute related to the production, so I'll leave it at that. But the behind-the-scenes process was very different from the neutral journalism I originally believed these documentaries represented. More than willing to validate my story with any journalists or lawyers that are interested, which I think is So there you have it. There's your smoking gun.
No
I
surprise.
was actually going to get back to the documentary and actually, again, we didn't see what they cut, right? We only saw what they put together. But the one thing that struck me, which I wish the guys did a little bit better, is on like the red pill sidebar. The first two books are When I Say No, I Feel Guilty and No More Mr. Nice Guy. If you had internalized that book, you would be able to recognize the frame shifting, the shaming language. You'd be able to use the terms of negative assertion, broken record, and completely dismantle any of that sneaky bullshit that Theroux tried to push. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, why are you deering? Like, why are you responding that way? Why don't you just go back and like honestly ask them, like, why are you asking that question? Like, is it relevant to what I do and how I reach young men? Like, just throw it back at them.
It's the same as Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
He does the same thing, and every time, and I'm Stripper, you know this about me. I 100% agree with you on that one. Nobody pushes back on this bullshit. It's every time like, oh, but well, I this, I that. It's like, why are you asking me that? It's like, because I want to. Say whatever you want about Fuentes. Like, say whatever you want, like him or dislike it. He was the only one who told Piers Morgan straight to his face, I don't care.
I'm going to bring up another one too. This is kind of going into a different sphere. And as a Canadian, I hope he becomes our prime minister someday. But do you remember the Pierre Poilievre apple eating video?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a perfect example of using tools that are literally taught in those two books to push back on a narrative. Like when he was like, oh, people say, and he was like, what people? No, like, I'm willing to listen to you, but I need to know who, quote unquote, these people are. Like, he completely annihilated that journalist who was trying to push a narrative by using simple tools that you learn in those two fucking books.
Nobody reads the sidebar, Stripper.
Yeah,
Everybody
I know.
always stops at be attractive. Nobody pays attention to the don't be unattractive part. That's boring.
Let me read this real quick. That from the network that brought you adolescents who failed to buy Time Warner from the sister network, with a news anchor who said, "We are all in the manosphere." Now, that was, by the way, that was Dana Bash who said that. That was right after Trump got elected.
I mean, well, at least we'll have to say, I will say one thing about all these documentaries and movies. At least it's heading in the right direction, because I remember the first ever movie called The Red Pill, which had nothing to do with the Red Pill.
See people referring back to that right now. I'm like, you guys do not know anything about the clusterfuck that led up to that even being released, because she had shot all this stuff and it was only with MRA guys. It was only with like Paul Elam and Dean Esme at that, and Karen Strawn, I think, was in that too. And that was what was funny to me. It would kill me of that is like the MRAs, and especially Paul Elam. They hated anything Red Pill. They hated Roosh. He had done these interviews with Roosh, and then afterwards starts talking shit about Roosh. And there was just so much like animosity between like MRAs and PUAs at that time, right? Mm-hmm. And because I mean, I understand it, because they're kind of diametrically opposed in that sense. Like, you know, the MRAs were sort of like the earliest form of the black pill at that time. In fact, most of the black pills in the MGTOWs came from the MRA movement, and then they hived off and they made themselves into the MGTOWs, right? But
we need to make this biblical lore sheet we talked about.
They did not like the term red pill until some little girl decided that she wanted to do a documentary that was really about her, not about the red pill, not about the MRAs. It was really about her becoming. She was a feminist, and suddenly she was questioning her feminist beliefs and everything afterwards. And it had it had less to do with these guys who were on screen just blubbering their eyes out and, you know, crying about this and men that. And it's like it made them look like pansies. But the whole thing with her was the whole show was really about her. They couldn't find anyone who would distribute it. There was no one who was going to put it in theaters. There's no one who was going to put it on Netflix or anything like that until Mike Cernovich got behind it and put $10,000 into it so he could get a credit in the fucking reel as a producer of the show. Now he's a filmmaker. All it cost him was $10,000. And he said he was only going to do that if it was matched by other donations, because she did a Kickstarter plan to get everybody to help her with the donations. Milo Yiannopoulos jumped in on that too. Milo's not, he's got a little bit of dirt on him from this one as well. And so everybody in the Manosphere was promoting this as a sort of a Manosphere movie. It didn't turn out to be one, and I don't think people knew what they were getting behind. But just because it said red pill on it, and I remember I made a big stink about it being called the red pill, and Dean, or it was either Paul or Dean, or they were like saying, "Well, you don't own the term the red pill." I'm like, you guys hated the red pill until she titled it the red pill, and now you're happy to have it as the red pill. I'm like, whatever. Like the MRAs are their own worst enemies, because they're stupid enough to ally themselves with the Cassie Jays, with Christina Hoff Summers, with Karen Straughns, with I can't remember. Janice Fiamingo, right? And on their own, great. But you know what those chicks are doing? They're using they're using the men's rights activists, men's rights movement as springboards for their own fucking careers. And and they constantly do this. They fall. It's like Charlie Brown and Lucy, and Lucy pulls the fucking football away from Charlie Brown all the time. That's Charlie Brown. That's freaking Paul Elam right there.
Yeah, but
he falls for it every freaking time.
They keep thinking the more women we have, the better our cause will be heard. And Chesty, Rule Zero Dad, we had a show with Chesty, and holy shit, did that man deliver. 2 hours of straight up MRA history since 1850. How long the MRAs have been going at it. He's like, the MRAs have been going at it for 200 years and have accomplished nothing, because they keep trying to pander to women. Like as soon as the rubber hits the road, it's like, oh, a woman has an opinion. Well, we got to be concerned about that. It's like, no, don't let them into your group. Just keep on going and just tell them you don't care.
Yep.
First is the worst.
This is pretty good. He says you should check out the behind the scenes footage of that Myron got, because he knew that sneaky fuck was going to cut out certain parts of the interview. Okay, let's address this part right here. Okay. Everybody said I should do the same thing with Dr. Phil, that wasn't going to happen. Trust me, I wasn't going to sneak a GoPro onto the Paramount set. That was never going to happen. Okay,
just some big ass Ray-Bans on.
Right. And so and by the way, just recently, last year, as a matter of fact, we had the CBS News crew that came in to film Access Vegas.
Right.
And they did the interview of Mike, and I declined that interview. They wanted me to, but I declined that. I'm kind of glad I did. But Mike jumped in there. I couldn't do it because I didn't want my Reignite guys to feel weird about having a film crew right there. Right? I'm not going to have my guys stressed out by a film crew and wondering if it's going to go on like national television or something like that. So it was sort of I simply didn't trust CBS. I did the preliminary interviews and they used some of that stuff in there, but I'm glad I didn't, because CBS, of course, then even to the best of their ability, still tried to make Mike look bad, right? They still try to, he's the snake oil salesman in all of this. But the guy that they had like teaching the boys group or whatever, the boys to men group at the high school, that guy turns out to be a flaming homosexual. So, but they didn't, that never made that didn't make it into the CBS documentary whatsoever. And very easy to find. If you see I did a breakdown episode on that whole thing, but I dodged that. And people kept saying, well, you know what you need to do? You need to make sure that you have cameras in the studio to record the guys who are recording for CBS, which is kind of ludicrous because the studio is nothing but cameras, at Red One, right? And so, but the point is I think people think that if you have cameras right there and you're going to show all this stuff after the fact, that it's going to exonerate you from all this. See, they cut all this stuff out. They did this. They made us look bad because of here's what they didn't show you, kind of thing. And unless you're really invested in like Fresh and Fit or Access Vegas or whatever show that's getting butchered by these guys, unless you're really invested, you're probably not going to care too much about that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when a journalist puts out some kind of fake news and then they have to print a retraction because they were wrong about something. The fake news gets 10 million views and it gets retweeted how many times and it gets liked 1 million times, right? The retraction gets 670 views, right? So what's the message is already out there. The damage is already done. It doesn't matter if you have you've taken the you've taken the time to put up a GoPro to keep an eye on these guys. It's do you think, as far as mass appeal is concerned, I know that like Myron and Fresh have a much greater audience that is probably going to see the Netflix thing. But people who watch Netflix are uninitiated with the Manosphere in the first place. If they're going to come up with an assessment and an interpretation of all this, they're going to go with Louis Theroux. They're not going to care whether you filmed all this and you exonerated yourself. They're not going to look that up. They're just going to look at it and go, these guys are jokes. Fuck these guys.
But I would say, because you guys have done a lot of good work, I think at least some version of the red pill has been listened to by some of by Xers and millennials to a point. And I don't really see this documentary changing the mind of 90% of Gen Z men at all. It's only just going to just lean into some feminist bitch who wants to watch it on Netflix or something. Like, who would just watch that randomly? I mean, it is funny though when I look at this I can't even call it documentary, this mockumentary, that 80% of the documentaries are friends, which is fucking hilarious. Literally.
Yeah. I'm surprised Scott Galloway wasn't in there.
Right.
As a pushback.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they just had he was just interviewed by PBD. And by the way, Scott Galloway keeps popping off with the same bullshit and the same lies. The dude is a fucking liar. And you quote me on this. You are a liar, Scott Galloway. The guy keeps coming up with this, what is it? 1 in 3 guys will be, drug addicted, or they will be, they'll develop a drug addiction or something like that if they're not married by 30 years old. Go type in exactly what he says into Perplexity, and Perplexity will tell you it's horseshit. He has it's like research says. What research? Show me the fucking research, asshat.
They can't. It's a narrative.
He repeats it over and over and
Where's
over.
the Don DeMarco?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Rolo, you know this one. You know the Orwell quote. If you repeat a lie long enough, you just repeat a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And no, like you, I, stripper, Miguel, we're gonna look that up. Where it's like, wait, is that true? And it turns out not to be. But how many people actually look that up? Grok, is that true? People can't do that in real life.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
don't
they
want to do the thinking for them. Is exactly what they want to do, right?
Huh.
And I'll tell you what, they won't even consult Grok if it aligns with what they already like their pre-existing bias. Like if they've got an implicit bias, they're not going to ask Grok if it's true. They're like, oh yeah, it sounds true to me. Price is king. that's all they care, right? It becomes a bumper sticker for them. But again, it's the thing about that gets me about the Manosphere thing is, first of all, it's a joke. It's meant to be. It's basically comedy, is what it is, right? And the comedy is delivered with him sort of deadpanning the whole thing, right? The guy is like 54 years old to begin with, so he's kind of like looking at this. Yeah,
I thought he was older than that.
It might be. I don't know, but so he's kind of like he's supposed to be the new eyes. He's like, we've just discovered this new thing called the Manosphere. It's like, bro, we've been doing this in my case for 23 some odd years, right? But no, everybody thinks that if the Manosphere begins and ends with Andrew Tate, right? And they think it started half an hour ago. They think that Sneeko is part of the Manosphere. That should tell you something right then and there, right? Yeah. They think. I mean, I would even argue that, like, I would say probably Myron is sort of not as embracing of the red pill or of the Manosphere as he used to be. I think before, like back in 2022, most definitely, he would definitely call himself a red pill. Now I think it's, well, the red pill is just truth, right? So I can talk about, Zionism, and I can talk about politics, and I can talk about that, and that's also red pill too, right? Well, again, as I said, you're just going to use the red pill as a convenient catch-all term for whatever your pet, ideology happens to be. It's exactly what I said would happen in March of 2021 on their show. The red pill needs to stay underground. It needs to stay obscure. And, I mean, it's not, obviously, but
the term is, term's not obscure
so
anymore.
everybody wants to use red pill as a synonymous with bigotry or with misogyny, or you're misogynist. If you're a red pill, you're a misogynist. If you're a red pill, you're
correct.
You're MAGA. If you're a red pill, you're whatever. Yeah, it's whatever you want. It's like
you're describing me so well.
It's like how did incel become an insult, right? It used to have be some meaning. Incels called themselves incels.
What is incel these days? Because what was it? I saw this maybe 2 days ago on Twitter. It's like, are you married to an incel? It's like,
what?
Kind of beating the purpose of the word here. It's like,
do they mean recluse?
Yeah, but these days, incel is just somebody. Incel is a man you don't like these days.
Yeah, incel is just the updated insult for virgin that was used in the 90s.
Perma-virgin. You're a perma-virgin.
Yeah, that's all it is, right? It's same thing, different words.
You're a loser.
Are you one of those
exactly?
Incels?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's you're right. It's a slur right now. I think it's kind of funny because I've always said there's no such thing as an involuntary celibate in 2026, right? There are voluntary celibates, yes. There are no involuntary celibates. If you want to get laid in this day and age, you can pay for it. You can absolutely pay for it. You can find a way.
But people forget, man. The giga brains make all the money, and the retards make all the money. The people in the middle get fucked.
That's true.
Did you see that meme, Miguel? Did you see that meme? Like, bitches ain't shit, and then you got the guy in the middle. No, women are wonderful. And then you got the smart guy again. Bitches ain't shit. Here, I'll share it. I'll share it real quick. I'll put it.
Have you seen that meme? Where, like, there's like a cartoon web of like the whatever show where it's like this stupid fuck. That shit killed me. That was so fucking funny.
That is.
Here, hold up. I made it this past week. I saw the study. I'm like, wait, they did the meme. It's in the private chat.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they actually did the meme. Bitches ain't shit. Women are wonderful. Nah, bitches ain't shit. The smarter you get, the more you agree.
Oh, let me grab it real quick.
But I was talking to Fresh last night. And we actually kind of went over this a little bit in terms of like what happened to YouTube, because like we were just talking strategy. Like we had dinner with Fresh, and we were talking about strategy and stuff, and then kind of was telling us what happened. Oh fuck yeah, yeah,
Yep.
Okay,
Did you see the study that comes with it?
No, is there a study that's incredible?
Yeah. So let me see. Well, I just had it.
Oh, world of statistics. Yeah, okay, I see what you're talking
about. Very attractive and very unattractive men show the highest hostility towards women. Oh well.
Sorry, go ahead. You keep going. You're saying,
yeah. So you remember? So we were kind of. I'm not going to say what we were talking about in terms of what started the conversation, but you know that video you shared to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that video. So he started talking about what happened to the algorithm and everything like that.
Right.
And he said a lot of the big channels basically didn't diversify their kind of views and stuff, and then their views went to shit basically. And like people who sell like dating courses, now the people who are making money are basically people who are selling like instead of like going out to try to get bitches, now it's like I just want a passport bro or just buy stripper or buy like prostitutes.
Yeah, bring on the sex robots. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's getting to that point, and it's like pretty surprising, you know, that. And then you know, or like you have to be much more involved. Like people want to see more like you actually being like putting your like going out and actually picking up women.
Right.
Actually.
Well, yeah, and who's doing that? Mike Sartain.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
maybe Troy Francis. Troy
as well. I mean,
there's not many.
My group to a lesser degree, my Reignite group for the guys 45 to 65. I specialize in guys who are, you know, in that demographic. Now, for privacy reasons, I can't actually, you know, show them like actually going home with the chicks, but like I can confirm with you right now that there have been several guys in my group who have like gone from zero to hero. Let's just say.
On today's episode, I will pull a 4.
Yeah, I always thought about that too, because like I remember like who has anybody seen Sneeko with a girl?
No.
Has anyone seen like hell? Has anybody even seen Andrew Tate with a girl? Like a regular like going out? He seems very awkward at clubs, right? He doesn't want to go out and be social or anything like that. Now he's supposed to be this ladies man, this ladies killer, runs a webcam. I don't even if he still is running a webcam service or some shit like that. And is supposed to be able to do the lover boy method and all this other stuff. And it's like, but that doesn't really translate. He doesn't have a really huge Instagram, you know, account where he's like going out to clubs in Vegas like Mike is and is surrounded by beautiful women who actually like him. Like what about like, I mean, Justin Waller, like don't get me wrong. I love Jade. I mean, he's a close personal friend. This is in no way a flame on him. But for a guy who talks about, you know, how he has an open marriage, at least it's closed on her end and open on his end, he doesn't show himself with chicks, right? I mean, even like Chris Williamson, who wants to give you like Chris Williamson, who I'm convinced is homosexual. The dude is never like he uses the term partner all the time too.
You think it was his uncle or?
He's like, I've never seen the dude with the chick. I don't see him with a girl whatsoever.
Ironically enough, Tate did just post a video of him in Korea or something, or wherever he is, karaoke, surrounded by women. So
Chris,
Thailand,
no,
and they may not be women.
Okay,
didn't he go to China?
They might be women. Yeah, they might not be women, but it's like what gets me is
Tate. I'm convinced of he can get girls. I think
I'm sure he can. I mean, I'm not saying he can't, but I'm just saying for guys who are their reputation is supposed to be built around, you know, hustling and making money and being around hot chicks and living this sort of like jet set playboy lifestyle. I don't see him with even a fraction of the women that like Mike Sartain surrounds himself with, like on every, like go to his Instagram right now. Seriously.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I will say, like, I have seen.
I've been married for almost 30 years. I'm around more hot women than these guys are.
To be honest, go Miguel.
I mean, the last person that like I saw him in a I saw Sneeko in a relationship, but he was like with Xena before like they broke up and that spiraled out. And after that, like I don't know if he fucked Sarah Safari or not, but like I saw them in Las Vegas a bunch of times, and then like after that, I just saw him I think this was before his conversion to Islam, but in a Hellcat.
And I understand. Yeah, that might be a keep your women off the internet thing.
Which is a smart thing for most people.
Totally understand that. But if you're going to like, if you're a quote unquote red pill content producer, there's going to be an expectation that you are going to be in some way, you know something about game, you know something about attracting women. And I think that, and maybe this is sort of endemic of how the manosphere has sort of shifted like narratives, because I see less what Mike and I are doing with guys and trying to say, hey, get out there. And we're as close to pickup artists as we possibly can, although we're not, right? We're not endorsing PUA or anything like that. We're get out there, go out there, make approaches, talk to women. All this stuff where, like, you know, all these gatekeepers of Evo Psych want to say, well, you know, these guys just need to get out of there. They need to go put on deodorant and wash their hair and, you know, and put on some nice clothes and go out there and talk to a girl, right? So the PUA said it right. So we've been saying for since 2004, man. But so
oh, go ahead, Rollo. My bad.
I just to finish the thought is that as far as I know, the only guys who are like sort of positively out there trying to help guys actually go out and improve their situation, improve their lives, and improve their situation with women has been myself and Mike. And I stick to the guys who are like, you know, post-divorce guys who are 35 to 65, somewhere in there. And Mike's got the guys, he's got the 18 to 29 demographic down, and he does his immersives and he does his, you know, his MOA stuff. And he's about it all the time. No one wants to interview us. No one wants to talk to us. I got nothing from this guy, right? And the reason why is because I'm not entertaining enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not joke worthy enough, right? Because we're actually trying to do something and trying to help people. And that's kind of the gist of this whole, what I want to make this show about and tomorrow's show about is that there's a definite distinction between the monkey show out in Miami right now with all these guys, you know, trying to, you want to talk about dancing monkeys? You guys are dancing monkeys for mainstream media. You're dancing monkeys for Netflix right now. You want to talk, well, don't be a dancing monkey for a woman. Okay, fine. But don't be a dancing monkey for Louis Theroux either, right? Because that's all you're doing. And all you're doing is just building up the narrative that they have already pre-established for themselves. And I don't care if you videotaped it, you know, secretly with a GoPro or whatever the fuck you had to do. I don't care about that. It's not, if no one's going to care. They're going to care more about the Netflix thing than the retraction or the backup that you think you have that's going to exonerate you. It's not going to exonerate you because the original message is stronger than your exoneration message. It's never going to happen. So, like, the best thing you can do is understand that it's their game. If you're going to participate in that, and I have, go and come correct, man. Know your shit and know what the imagery is going to look like. Know what their set, the picture is going to look like. They're going to try to set you up here. And God bless you. I love Myron. This is no hate, but they set him up with Angie and he's holding the little fucking poodle the whole time there when he's talking to this dude. How do you not think that that's going to make it into that is absolutely, that's going to be the feature part of the documentary when you're sitting there, and the optics look bad. It's all about optics. It's all about perception. And again, the original documentary is going to make a stronger impression than any exoneration you come up with after the fact, because it seems like you're trying to make up. Like, why weren't you on point when he was doing this? And that's the thing. I entered into the Dr. Phil interview or that show with the same mindset. So first of all, I have to do this because if I don't, somebody else will. And then second of all is if I can't come correct, if I'm not on point with everything that I talk about on that show, I got no business being on that show. I would just simply say decline the show.
Right. But you think that's why Myron did it, just to get eyes on him?
I think that's certainly part of it. It's everybody does that. I mean, why did I go on Dr. Phil, right? I could say, well, I really want to go and represent the Manosphere. Yeah, I do. But like, also, hey, great. It makes me, I got optics from Dr. Phil. Awesome. I got him flustered with one word, superfluous.
So what I was going to say, and I think is kind of a more meta look at everything of the quote unquote Manosphere, is first of all, who's going to be drawn to that content? It's going to be socially awkward guys who aren't getting girls. And then out of that demographic, most guys are not willing to put in the work. So what are you left with that is going to resonate with them, but will also get them girls? Status and money, because those two things you can build while being completely antisocial. And so it causes this reinforcement mechanism where the quote unquote manosphere or PUA or game or any of that has been thrown to the wayside because it's difficult. It's work. When you're antisocial or lacking social skills, it's very scary to build up those skills. You know what's not scary? Becoming an engineer and making $250,000 a year. Being partner at your law firm, things like that, where guys can be antisocial, but get themselves into a place where they will get female attention. And now, unfortunately, we have this really weighted representation of how to interact with women, where it's basically lead with your wallet and get status bro, which, to be honest, for 95% of the male population isn't going to work. Then that's like, to be honest, that's what my entire Substack is about.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Oh, I said this is a mog or get mogged world, sir.
Dude, I don't
by the holy clavicular.
Yeah, like I don't make a ton of money. I'm not the most attractive man in the world, and I bet you I could fuck all of their bitches. Like it just blows my mind. Like, and I'm not trying to take shots at any of these guys, but like the fundamental social skills you need, assertiveness you need, being able to set boundaries and not take shit as a man to be attractive to women is completely gone in the more popular areas of this sphere, the parts that get the most spotlight. And my concern for young men growing up is when you lack, like if you have the status and you have the money, but you also have those other skills, yeah, you're a top tier man. But when you don't have those other skills and you have the status and money, you know what you are? You're a really good fucking plow horse.
You're a Delta male. Yeah, it's funny. I talked about this on Access Vegas. I probably went over the girls' heads, but like when I'm talking about like alpha, beta, delta, gamma, those are Vox Day's sociosexual hierarchies, right? The most important one of all of those is not the alpha, and it's not the gamma or whatever beta. It's the delta males. They are the guys that keep the lights on. They are the average guy. They're the guy who's sitting in a cubicle. They're the guys who are, working on oil derricks in the Gulf of America. They're the guys who are, keeping the lights on, man. They're the guys who are filling the potholes and doing construction work, and electricians and welders and everything else. They're the salt of the earth, man. That's the heartbeat of America. The shit doesn't get done if those guys aren't there building that fucking building, right? And those guys are just average dudes. And the problem is average women don't want to get with average guys. And so what happens is now those guys can't be relatively assured of a wife and kids and sex and everything, because they still believe in the same kind of thing that deltas have always believed in. You put in an honest day's work and you get an honest day's pay, and you go home and you go see the little lady, and you go to church on Sundays, and you have 2.5 kids and a golden retriever in the front yard, right? And that's they're living the American dream, but that's average guys. But the problem is average women don't want to get with average men right now because they want more. They deserve more. They're entitled to more. They're entitled to the alpha. And if you're not elite, marriage is only for elite people. You want to know why the marriage rate is 6.1 per 1,000 right now? It's the lowest it's ever been. Average women don't want to get with average men. And when you lose the deltas, you lose society. And that's what they're shitting their pants over right now. And they need a boogeyman to point to say, why is the fertility rate down? Why is the marriage rate down? Why aren't guys participating in society? Why aren't guys earning more degrees right now? Why aren't guys stepping up? Why aren't guys doing this? And you know what? They can't explain what's very obvious to everyone else is average women don't want to get with average men. They don't want to point that finger that way. So they've got to find a boogeyman. Who's that boogeyman? Andrew Tate. He's Osama bin Laden. He is the Osama bin Laden of the UK right now. He is the guy who, they can't name a single person, a single personality in this space except for Andrew Tate. No one else. And they couldn't even tell you what he said. I just disagree with Andrew Tate because he's a misogynist. They just know that because it's just like something repeating the lie over and over again. So that's the narrative and that's the reputation that he has. They are passing policies, education policies, to the tune of 20 million British pounds in the UK because of one name, Andrew Tate. They need a
That's
boogeyman.
why I mentioned Louis is a Brit, and the Brits are losing it right now because Restore Britain just became the third largest party in Britain, and they've only existed for a month, maybe even less.
And so everybody's amplifying this signal because they're clutching their pearls and going, "Oh my gosh, these are the men that my teachers in my women's studies class warned me about." Right? They're saying the things that my gender studies, feminist professor told me to look for in society, and here they are. And it's an easy enemy. They're easy to hate. Right. I think I brought this up at one point. Like I remember when they were trying to do the same thing. I think they tried to do the same with Paul Elam back in the mid 2000s. Right. Or 2010s. I think they really wanted a face. They wanted a president of the Manosphere. They wanted a frothing at the mouth madman to be the guy who was the leader of the Manosphere cult. And they couldn't get it because the Manosphere has been decentralized, right? They don't know who to talk to. But then in comes Andrew Tate, and he's easy to hate, and that's how he became the boogeyman. And they don't want him to go away. They need Andrew Tate. They need him to be there because that's how they get money. That's how they get policy. That's how they shut down Twitter in Britain and in Australia and in Canada because one name. We can't have that's Andrew Tate's on Twitter. Get it out of here. That's what literally they will down the biggest social media platform on planet Earth with one name. That's how scared they are. They will put out a documentary that is just this complete hatchet job because that's how scared they are that guys might organize, that men might take this to heart and actually come together and say, you know what, fuck this.
It's already happening in America. Did you see what happened to that? And correct me if I'm wrong on this one, because there were two this past week. There was one guy with a car and there was one guy with a weapon. And the students did it with their bare hands.
Yeah, overwhelmingly. They killed the dude too, I think.
Yeah, it's like with their bare effing hands, they took care of it. It's like that's toxic masculinity right there. Toxic masculinity is the shit that will save lives, but it will also revolt when the powers that be get a little bit too out of control, which, let's be honest, here is what's happening over the Western world. What I would ask you, Rolo.
Apes together strong.
Oh, do you remember that Simpson episode with Ralph? Yes. One stick is but meek, but together they make a powerful, F word, bundle of sticks. But Rolo, what I would love to get into, actually, you mentioned average women don't want to get with average men. You and I both know that above average isn't just finances alone. So what would you describe as the average man nowadays?
Oh, the average guy?
Well,
average guys, they've lowered the bar. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm kind of torn because I work with guys who are like Kyle, my producer, which is Miguel's younger brother, who's, how old is he now? 24, Miguel? Kyle's 23, 24, somewhere around. He's definitely
23.
He's in the middle of Gen Z, right? Kyle's got his shit together. All right. Kyle is very much, he knows his purpose. He's there every day. And he knows, like, when we're putting together a show, like I lean on Kyle probably more than any other person that I do when it comes to producing my show and just like, bouncing ideas off of. Next, I've got, Mike. Mike is like my brother, right? We kind of, we bounce ideas off each other. We have some pretty interesting offline conversations. I think people like maybe Access Vegas, like the girls would be bored with, but like we are like very entertained by. But the thing is like Kyle's in the middle of that Gen Z demographic, right? And so he sort of gives me hope, right? Like he bucks the trend. There's other people like my old guitarist CJ from Trial of Ascension. He is probably 26 or 27 right now. Been married, has 2 kids, is in upper management at the Tesla Gigafactory up in Reno, right? So, and would definitely be part of the Gen Z thing. So I'm just throwing this out there because I don't want anybody to think I'm just like lumping everyone into one category, because I hate generationalism. But I will say this is that it has been if there's one thing that defines Gen Z for Gen Z men is that they just simply don't. They want to check out. They don't want to do it. They don't want to get laid. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do, like everything's done for them. Why would they? What the juices squeeze? Okay. It doesn't take much to convince a guy, a purposeless guy who's sort of like, socially and stylistically rudderless in the world, right? It doesn't take much to say the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Yeah, sounds right to me. And then just do anything, or just do the bare minimum. It's subsistence level sort of existence. Right?
Here's maybe an odd question, but when was the last time you guys saw a garage band?
Like live together,
just,
or like
just anywhere, just guys rehearsing, guys getting together.
Well, I see
we're doing it right now, bro. We're spitting all the time.
I see it occasionally when I'm at my rehearsal studio, but like I rent time at a rehearsal studio, so I do see guys getting together. Yeah, that's a good question, right? Our guys actually putting bands together. I'm looking for that. I want to see that happen. I want to see guys put bands together. It's because I have you ratted me out. You got me, Jack Napier. My next
You're welcome.
My next Substack is about what would you do for free? What would you do for free? Would you play in a band and lose money? Because I'll tell you right now, playing music right now, you're not doing it. Trust me, you are not doing it for the money. You are losing money by doing that. All these wonderful guitar, my beautiful guitar collection right here costs me money. Okay. Going to this rehearsal studio costs me money. Going and promoting myself costs me time and money because I'm not putting it into stuff that would actually make me money. Right. And so like, I don't have to be in a band to make money. Right. And it's a good thing because there ain't no money in it right now. But why do people still want to be in bands? Why do people, well, pussy, right? But why do people want to be in bands? Is because it's something that they like. It's intrinsically rewarding. There's something rewarding about making art in all forms, not just, right? So what would you do for free? What is worth your time? I remember writing all my posts on So Suave. I wasn't making any money off of that. I didn't start making any money off of the quote unquote manosphere until I published this nice book called The Rational Male in 2013. Then I started to see some dividends, right? I had a well-trafficked blog, but I never monetized the blog. I have a YouTube channel right now, and I'm lucky if I turn $2,000 off of it a month, right? Access Vegas just got demonetized again, right? And it's not that I made a big deal out of it, but like, it's not that big a deal because it's not making any money. I'm going to do it regardless of whether it's monetized or it's not.
You should get a plaque for the show.
Yeah.
Do you monetize? Just get like a golden.
Like, make it green or slimy.
Did you ever get the 100K plaque?
I have two of them, actually.
Nice.
I have one for my Clips channel and I have one for my main. But what's funny is like what kills me is like everybody like during like the 2020 through 2023, everybody subs. And if you got your 100,000 plaque, it was like your platinum. Was it platinum or no? It's the silver plaque, whatever it is. That was an accomplishment. I have them hang on. I literally have them hanging on my wall right now. Right. And then they changed the algorithm last August. And it's like, we don't care about subs. Subs are meaningless. I'm like, so those plaques don't mean shit. They're a vanity metric, right? But they don't improve your, like, what would you do for free? Would you do your show for free? I'm doing this show for free because we only got one super chat the whole show.
Shame.
Yeah. Oh wait,
you got some ad revenue.
Here we go. Okay, we got $15. And by the way, $15 amounts to what's 70% of $15 because YouTube's taking 30% of it. I was an AT hater, but I started listening to him because I said, well, my life is shit, but what he's doing seems to be working. What works for him? There you go. Andrew.
Yeah.
AT.
What I was going to say before kind of going back to the average guy there, Rolo, is I can kind of speak on Gen Z because I live in the same town I went to university to. I'm an alumni of a fraternity there. And for a while I was on the board of directors for an advisory council. So I have a pretty good relationship with the younger guys. And to be honest, it doesn't take much. And yes, there are delusional girls out there, but I can tell you the average girl, if you're willing to do just fucking just a bit above the bare minimum. And I don't mean much. I mean, go to the gym, work on your social skills, throw a party, you will get pussy and lots of it.
Yeah, it's not.
But guys aren't willing to put in the work.
Yeah. Well, that's why Mike calls it men of action. You actually have to go out and take action. You have to actually put this stuff into practice. And especially I work with guys who are hard to work with, because these guys, most of the guys I work with are coming out of really bad divorces, and their social skills aren't like incel level, but they have atrophied over the course of their marriage, right? So like what worked for them back when they met their wife in the 90s is not the game that they need to learn how to play now. They don't know anything about Instagram. They don't know how to, even just promote themselves to the most minimum degree. But once they start doing that, and once they start sort of, ramping their skills back up, they get a little bit of style, they're in the gym, and they get a little bit of like confidence from just the way that people sort of treat them differently. Then Trembolone. Yes. Trembolone just factors in heavily. But no, I mean, like for instance, like part of my Reignite group, one of the things that we do is we bring girls into some of our sessions, and we have guys have conversations with those girls. Now it's in a controlled situation. Some of them we've had on Access Vegas. Some of them are just like friends that we have, and they come in and they basically just have social conversations with these guys, right? It's a one-on-one conversation, and they're, how would you open, right? That kind of thing, right? And so they have these conversations, and they say that the feedback is overwhelmingly positive. They just say, this is the best thing. No one else is doing this, right? And so we have the girls who are talking to the guys, and then we mix it up a little bit. We go, okay, we tell the girls, be really receptive, right? And then in another round, it might be kind of like standoffish, right? And so that the guys can like adjust on the fly what they're going to say to those girls and have these conversations. And it's in a controlled environment. It really helps them so that when they get out into they go to Babes in Toyland with us or something like that, they don't feel like they don't know what they're going to say or how they're going to interact. And it really works very well for them because their social skills have atrophied so much. By the way, those guys are like Gen Xers. Those guys are maybe late millennials to Gen Xers. And they don't know what they're doing. Hell, even Robert Kiyosaki, I had to coach, get him back into the game back in the day, like when he split up with Kim. Of course, all I had to do is say, Robert, you're Robert fucking Kiyosaki, dude. Right. let's start there and move forward, right? But the social skills, I think in general, atrophy after a while if you're not using them all the time. And so yes, you have to go out there and you have to do all this stuff. But what's going to happen is like you're never going to have these guys even try. They're not even going to guys spend more time figuring out reasons why they shouldn't go out than reasons why they should, right? Or like how they could possibly go out and learn something else. I had this, I didn't pull the video. I'm going to use it for tomorrow's show, but there's this one chick who was talking about, it was like this in-car video, was just screeching about the Manosphere documentary. And she was just losing her shit because she's like, I can't believe that men would pay for these courses, that men would have to pay some other guy to teach them how to interact with women. I can't. It's like she's just she literally is oblivious. She has, and I understand she's completely confused about this because for women, as I'm going to quote Rich Cooper, women don't care about men's struggles. They wait at the finish line and they fuck the winners. Well, the thing is you got to have the struggles and you got to actually do something so that you can be that winner in the first place. But women don't care about the process it took for you to become a winner. They just care that you are a winner. They just care because that's the perception. They just want a guy who's going to, who's 6 foot tall, finance, blue eyes, trust fund, whatever the song is about. Right. But
I'm going to throw some red meat in just on what you said, because I've always found this fucking hilarious. I'm at the age where I've seen most of the women I went to school with, women that I'm friends with, all have kids. When it comes to dating, they want guys to just quote unquote get it. But I find it absolutely hilarious. Their first kid, these same women who will shit on a guy because they don't get it, will buy every parenting book, every motherhood book, every maternity book, go to every bloody class. And I'm like, women have been giving birth since the dawn of time. Like, shouldn't you just know what to do? But it's okay when they need help with something that they're inexperienced with. But when it comes to guys, we should just intrinsically have this knowledge beforehand.
Right. Well, because again, it's and why is that? It's what I've always said is men must become and women just are. If women just are, and we live in a gynocentric social order where that's the normative, the correct experience is to experience life through a female lens. If women just are, then men just are too. They should just be like that. You should already know this stuff. You're a guy. How come you don't know this stuff just like through osmosis or through, magic pixie dust? You don't know this? Then there's something wrong with you. Because like what is women's intuition about? It's about determining whether or not you're a fraud, whether or not you're trustworthy. Think about it. That's why the Bachelor is such a successful show, and it's like 31st season right now. 31 years of the fucking Bachelor, man, because it plays to that indignation that women want. They want to know if you're the real deal, right? They don't care how you became the real deal. They just care that you are the real deal, because women just are and men must become. They don't understand the men must become side of things, right? That's how you get by the way, that's how you get characters like Mary Sue characters in certainly in Star Wars, or in if they're gender swapping a character, or if they're trying to make a strong female lead, she already knows how to kick ass and take names. There's no process, there's no learning, there's no training. She doesn't have to learn to become a Jedi, right? She just is a Jedi.
Yeah,
because women just are, men must become. They don't care about the becoming part. They just that you have became, that you are the winner. They don't care about anything that happens. So when women are exposed to that process by saying, look at these guys, they're taking classes. They're that desperate that they need to learn how to interact with women. Yes, they do, because they're not getting it. They're certainly not getting it organically like prior generations did. They're not learning it in real time. Where else are they going to get it from? Where are they going to learn how to learn social skills or relearn social skills if they're coming out of a divorce? And as I said before, the only people I know who are doing this are myself, Mike Sartain, probably Owen Cook. There's a few other people that are teaching actual social skills. And what is game? Game is just social skills. It's just understanding, like if you're autistic and you don't understand emotional expressions and stuff. Imagine if I could say, I could sit you down for a few weeks of classes and say, this is how you can interpret emotions. This is how you can interpret body language. This is how you can interpret these things. And you take it to heart and it improves your life. The woman doesn't care what the process was. She only cares about what the results are, because women just are and men must become. So if a woman sees these guys, I think the biggest takeaway that most of the female critics have of the Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary is that they can't believe that there are so many suckers who would subscribe to whatever. And I don't even know what HS Tiki Taki has going for guys. Does he have a men's program? I know Justin Waller has a men's program. It's mostly about finances and sort of success stuff. I know Myron has something similar to that. I think he's got some sort of membership program thing going on. But are they learning in-field skills? Are they going out and practicing these things? Are they having conversations with women? Are they who's actually doing this shit? And to my knowledge, only myself and Mike Sartain. Troy is doing. Yeah, there's a few people. There's a handful of people that are doing that. And you know what? None of those people are on that documentary. Not a single one are on there. I never got a fucking call from these guys. Because they're looking for ridicule. That's what they're looking to do.
To kind of go back to what you were talking about, Rollo, and this really does apply to, or I guess maybe not apply is the word I'm looking to, but reinforce the fact that we are in a feminized society, a gynocentric social order. Is think about all the novels that were written prior to us really getting steeped in this. You have the traditional hero's journey, right? You kind of come from nothing. You have an obstacle. You need to learn the skills to overcome the obstacle. You defeat the obstacle. And then usually, which this is kind of something that is just inherent in men, once you get the reward, it is shared with the community or those that you love. That is the traditional hero's journey. And then there's the Shiro's journey, which I absolutely love. It's I'm awesome, but nobody knows that I'm awesome. So something needs to happen outside of my control so I can demonstrate to everyone how awesome I am.
The world
that time comes.
The world has to change. The game has to change to fit my skill set.
Yes, exactly. And then that happens. So now I can demonstrate how awesome I am. And now everyone knows how awesome I am. That is literally the female hero's plot line.
Mm. Yeah, I'm seeing this a lot. People are saying you should give yourself more credit. Yeah, well, I'm happy that I am, but I'm never going to get past the gate. Mike and I have decided we're never going to get past the gate. Right? We're never going to get the call from Rogan. We're never going to get the call from Williamson or any of these guys. Williamson would rather talk to Scott Galloway than Mike Sartain. If he's not going to talk to me, I 100% get it, but talk to Mike at the very least. But that's never going to happen. This is actually, here's the video that I was going to say that was getting me on all of this. Where did it go? Is that it? I want to say, is this? I think this is it.
Kind of want to talk about the new Louis Theroux show, Manosphere, on Netflix, and I'm already angry in anticipation of watching it because it's just going to be knobhead overload, isn't it? I think I need somebody to explain this to me, because who is buying into this shit? And literally buying into it, like paying these absolute wipes to do their courses. And I'm sorry, but is there anything less alpha on the entire planet than a man paying another man to teach him how to be a man? Like, oh my God, you absolute massive fannies. What is going on?
You're a massive fanny. There you go. You got it from the horse's mouth right there.
What is it Asmund always says? There's one category that will be the doom of society. Liberal white women.
But see, the reason why she's like literally, she hadn't even seen the documentary at this time. She just knew what it was. She already knew what it was about, right? Maybe from the trailers, I don't know. But the thing is where else are they going to learn it? What's the correct way for those guys to learn how to be men, or to
via feminine improved talking heads?
How to do that? Who is approved to do that? What's the process, and what's misogyny, and what's respect, right? I got it. I love that. I just you probably saw me post this on Twitter. There's this really just horrific picture of like these schoolboys who got their heads like down, and they got this on the opposite side. They got the girls on the other side. And this UK schools to teach boys to respect girls. I'm like, okay, what form of respect? Is it going to be the merit-based form of respect, or is it going to be just like this common courtesy, feminized participation trophy respect? Because I know what form of respect the girls are going to have for the guys, but it's not going to be the same as what you're expecting of those guys to have, right? And that's what we're teaching our kids at this point.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go, Rolo, is that same woman, if she is married and has kids, there's a good chance just by looking at her actions. Like, first of all, what married woman who has a happy marriage goes online for clout to bitch about some shitty movie on Netflix, right? So there's a good chance she's complaining about a problem she is a part of, because she probably, if she is married with kids, probably browbeat her husband into submission so her sons could never learn how to be a man. And then turns around and is like, why do men need to pay other men to learn how to be a man? Bitch, you're the fucking reason.
Right. Well,
Misha's rule proves again to be right. Underfucked women are not angry on Twitter. They're not.
Well, so I mean, take her angry rant out of it for the moment, but like the sentiment of what she's talking about. I think this is because I see this. Pretty much every female critic of this on Twitter has some sort of variation of this. It's like, how I can't believe these guys would spend this kind of money to learn how to be a real man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's the same model as OnlyFans girls, right? Here's make it rain, right? I can't believe these guys would spend small fortunes on OnlyFans girls. It's like, well, yeah, because they don't know how to interact with women. So what is it? Are you going to scold them for trying to learn and how, trying to up their skills and trying to up their physiques and trying to up their, their financial status so that they can actually qualify to be an above average guy? And they've got to learn that from reading my book or from going on a course or whatever the fuck it is. You're going to criticize them for that. Right. But you're also going to hold them accountable for, spending small fortunes on OnlyFans girls. Right. So what is it? It's the same revenue model. The OnlyFans girls are doing exactly what HS Tiki-Taki is doing. In fact, he's even manages OnlyFans girls for crying out loud. And then he's got a program for guys to I don't know that he does or he doesn't, but she presumes that these guys all have these sort of dating programs or social programs to teach them how to be real men. I'm not familiar with anything that Tate is doing. I'm not familiar with anything that HS Tiki-Taki is doing. I know for a damn fact that Sneeko has no program even remotely like that. So they're barking up the wrong tree with these guys. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that like the confusion is they think that men are just supposed to be born with this like hardwired into our operating system, right? It's not a process of social learning that these guys never got. That's why. So like whenever like chicks say, well, why won't guys approach me on the street? Why won't guys, step up and and ask a girl out? Like even Scott Galloway was talking about that, something like, 90% of guys between the ages of 18 and 29 have never even asked a girl out, right? So that's oh my god, we got to get these guys to start asking these girls out. Well, the thing is it's not it. Like women don't want to be approached by any guy. They want to be approached by hot guys who know how to talk, who have some sort of personality to them, who have at least a minimum amount of like social skills in order to actually carry on a conversation in the first place. If you can't do that, where are you going to learn to do that? Just magically?
But Rolo, we're forgetting the alpha, bro. The crypto mindset course is live right now.
Yes. Oh man.
Escape poverty today.
Poverty. Yes. Thank you for dropping that in at the last minute there. Yeah. Actually,
go ahead. It really all comes down to the only allowed masculinity is feminine approved masculinity. You mentioned like who are their teachers? Scott Galloway, Louis Theroux. Those are the men who are going to teach you what real masculinity is because they're approved. Like I said, that Scott Galloway interview, Oprah was there, and Oprah was there for only one reason, for oversight.
Endorse the message.
Is he staying in line? Don't say anything that is not complimentary to women. When that girl came up, it's like, what can I do? Well, first of all, lose weight. That's one. But he's not gonna,
get down to at least 18-15% body fat. That'd be a good start.
But he's not going to say that. He's like, oh, you just be honest and you'll find your person. That's also a new thing.
It's hard. These guys aren't measuring up to your expectations, fat girl.
And then the guy asks it, and it's like, do this, do that, treat them with respect, be nice. And also, and I don't know if it's true about Louis, but I did find it. Did you know that Scott and Louis both have one thing in common, and that is womanizing fathers?
I was about to say. That dude is very much a promise keeper. I was going to insert that in at some point.
He never made it as a Mexican. I swear to you, bro. I have disappointed my forefathers by not having 3 separate families right now. I really have. Like this man, I don't know how he would survive in Mexico, bro. I have no idea.
Dios mío.
Dios mío. I have a family in Jalisco, a family in Zacatecas, and a family in Monterrey.
Juarez.
Baja.
No, but we're dealing with promise keepers here. Like, I will not be the scumbag my father was. Well, your father had a lot more fun than you are. I can tell you that.
He knew enough to leave your frigid mother.
One of my uncles, I shouldn't say this, but like one of my uncles literally fucked every sister in this one family. Like every second sister. There's 5 sisters in that family. He's like, you fucked all of them?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, this is actually good. I know this is a throwaway tweet here, but it's, women are going to teach men how to be men. Meanwhile, they don't even understand how their own vagina works. No, but I think that's interesting. That the first part of that is like, so who gets to teach men? We talked about that in the CBS interview.
Yeah.
Like, who gets to teach men? Well, apparently a flagrant homosexual gets to teach men at that high school that was part of that documentary. That's okay for those guys to teach that touchy-feely, feminized, like, do what mommy says kind of masculinity. But if it's Mike Sartain talking to 20 guys at an immersion, that's the snake oily, slick used car salesman, less valid form of masculinity. Or if guys are taught to like, well, we need men to man up, but not man up that much, right?
Do you think there's like an ancient urge for women to have eunuchs?
Yeah.
I've literally have thought about that. Like, is there some deep-seated thing? Like, are they trying to recreate eunuchs?
Well, women have always wanted.
I have a theory on that, actually. And this is going to kind of go off the rails. Go ahead. But stick with me here. So I actually enjoy listening to Modern Wisdom. He's got a lot of good guests on. But whenever he gets into intersexual dynamics, the one thing that drives me nuts about Chris Williamson is everything is still framed through the lens of needing validation from women. Like, like you would say, like the feminine approved masculinity. And what I think it is on a macro scale is validation is very, very important to women, right? The same way through incentives that the government has basically become the provider for women, they're trying to do the exact same thing. And I don't think it's conscious. I think it's just their subconscious wiring, but there's a lot of different reinforcement mechanisms because we're able to connect with one another, that the next thing that a woman or women in general want to have on lock, where they don't need to find a man, to have something similar to the government as a safety net, to be like, well, I don't need a man because there's a ton of women programs out there. If I have a kid, well, he'll pay for it. You know what I mean? That same sort of thing is now validation. So everything in society is being strictly enforced to ensure that women don't need to behave correctly to hold up their end of the bargain in a relationship in order to get validation, because it can be outsourced by media.
Yeah, I agree. Did you have something to say, Jack, before I launch in?
No, not per se, but you're 100% right. But women have always, like I said, it's a shit test on a societal level, and nobody's telling them no. Like, can you imagine Scott Galloway telling his wife no? And this is the same thing right now. They want universal basic betas. It's kind of what they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I honestly, getting back to the Delta male thing, I think they want Delta males who are serviceable utilities is what they are. They need guys to still go out there and work and still go out and do it. Even if the social contract has changed, we still want you guys to go out. You're not getting any pussy, but because you're not an elite level guy, but we still need the lights on. We still need the potholes filled, right? And so there's that aspect of it, but like more to Miguel's point, do they want eunuchs? I don't think women actually want eunuchs, but it's just the way that we are as sort of like primates. And I'm going to go like really primal on you here. There are guys who fuck and there's guys who don't fuck. And women have to like have a fine-tuned filter to determine guys who fuck and guys who don't fuck. Okay. The guys who don't fuck are the monkeys that will give the woman the banana and will pick the little nits off of her and will provide childcare for the alphas, babies, right? He's the guy who gets a little bit of pussy when she's not in estrus, right? He gets a little bit of pussy when just to keep him around, right? Just to give him a little bit of reward to keep those beta males, because they still serve a purpose, it's better to have them than not. They're superfluous. It's better to have them than not have them, but they don't want to have sex, really want to have sex with the beta nitpicking berry picker men. They want to have sex with the hot alpha, who is the hunter, the guy who has physical prowess, the guy has actually the physical force to kill someone. including those guys, right? And so I would defer you to a really great book. It's called Alpha God by Dr. Hector Garcia. Yes, he, at the end of the book, he turns into a male feminist, but he is spot on when it comes to his research about how the similarities when it comes to, well, really religion, but social structures between human beings and primates, right? And a lot of this transfers over to, I mean, in different ways. There's correlates to human behavior as well. So if you go back, now that we have accurate, we've plotted the human genome and we know what the genomic record looks like. We can also determine that women always have out-reproduced men. There are guys who are going to get it. There are guys who fuck, and there are guys who are just the berry pickers. They're there for serviceability. They're the drones, okay? And so do they want them necessarily as eunuchs? No, because they still have to give them some little bit of reward. It's like having beta orbiters. You got to toss them a bone every now and then and say, give them a kind word, pat them on the back, hold their hand, give them a quick, keynote touch or something like that. They might not be fucking those guys. But if they are because they have to. It's transactional. The guy that they want to fuck is the guy who fucks, the guy who is dark triad personality traits, the guy who is has the capacity to kill other guys, the guy who is physical prowess. That's sexy, and I'm not talking about because people always conflate this. They want to say, well, if that was the case, then we would have anarchy. And I'm like, well, we're getting pretty close, okay, already. But the thing is no, it won't, because it's this balance between reproducing with guys who are alpha and then having betas take over the parental investment responsibilities of those alphas, which is exactly what you see in primate troops, right? And so we're just doing it the human way, and we make rationales and we make social conventions that sort of excuse that. Right? A single mom, she's a superhero, and you're not a stepdad. You're the dad who stepped up. No, you're the guy who's taken over the parental investment responsibilities, the guy who fucked her, put a baby in her, and then went on to the next one. Right?
Ejaculated and evacuated.
You're the guy, ejaculate and evacuate, and you're the guy that picked up the tab for it, right? You are a cuckold. That is what you are. And it's one thing, like I think I don't think I've ever said this on any podcast, but it's one thing for men to have a jealousy response, especially if there's infidelity. If a woman cheats on her guy, that guy wants to know, did you come? Did you how big is his dick? Did you do it in the kitchen? Did you do it in the bedroom? Was he better than me? Like, they want the details. And the reason why they want the details is not to torture themselves, but the purpose of that is to determine whether or not the baby that comes out of her cooter is his baby or it's the other guy's baby. Right. And that causes, what happens when guys find out that they've been investing in children that aren't theirs? They murder the wife. They murder themselves. They murder the kids. They have, what is it that prompts guys to do that? Because they are now have been tricked and duped into being cuckolds and into being genetic dead ends. They are going to go extinct. And the guy that fucked her, that he's been unwittingly taking care of their kids for all this time, now the truth is out and he can't live with that. And they can't live with it either, apparently, right? So, but the thing is that is all that traces back to primates, right? It traces back to the same thing that silverback gorillas down to macaque monkeys do, right? And so what's the workaround? We have all these people who are killing each other. So we want to make DNA tests illegal, so you can't find out. Like, guys can't.
Shout out France, baby.
Yeah, you can't find that out. And that's one. The other thing is, now, wouldn't it be great if we could find some way socially to make it acceptable for a single mother to be remarried to another guy, and he is actually should be doing that. It's his godly duty as a godly man to wife up that single mother. It is you're a hero. It's noble for a man to essentially complete the cycle of life for another guy, and the woman who would actually marry him and have him as a base of support. They want a guy who has a man with benefits, right? They want a guy who's going to be able long-term security. That's
but King Solomon had many wives.
Yeah, well, King Solomon had more money to keep those wives up. Elon Musk, like, what's he got? 14 kids now?
Yeah, I will say this. I will say this. So he does put his money with his mouth. He's making the babies right now for sure. But
all via IVF or something, right?
Yeah,
some of them are. Yeah,
I'm going off a side tangent here, but the thing is the reason why we hold men up to a lofty, nobility for wifing up the single mother is because we need to do that. That's the mythology that we need, because if it was left to his biological impulses, he would kill that person for doing the same thing, right? The jealousy with like no man wants, like everybody doesn't want to be cuckolded. Remember when what Adam 22 said, Jason Love was going to go bang Lena the Plug, and even Matt Walsh, I would never let my wife get railed by some big black filler. He would never I would never let that happen, right? Like this is righteous indignation. Yeah, but you would still tell the guy who's in your congregation, wife up the single mother. It's exactly the same fucking thing. Like the end result is still the same thing. That's where the jealousy response comes from. That's where the indignation comes from, and the outrage comes from that same mate guarding and jealousy, right? That's where that comes from. So what you're telling me is, if I'm in church and I say you're a noble man for wifing up that poor, single mom who's on a fixed income or some shit like that, and you're lifting her up out of poverty, and she will appreciate you and love you forever, and that's what God wants you to do. How powerful a social convention is that? Because what it does is it essentially like legitimizes through the Lord on heaven above, right? With you completing her hypergamous, life plans. You're the guy that stepped in and completed the whole circle for her. Right? Yeah. So instead of women going, it's your baby, and it's not your baby, like that's like, what is it? A proactive cuckoldry, right? It's retroactive cuckoldry. Well, it's not your baby, but it's okay that it's not your baby, and you should wife me up anyways. Right? That is a far more powerful social dynamic than anything else. And you add a little bit of God in there, and that is a mind fuck. Is what that is.
Yeah, and then there's always that line too of like obviously, right? Like you got a guy like Kyle. I'd bitch slap Kyle right now on stream if he got with some fucking woman that had 2 kids from 2 different dudes.
Right.
Like, but then there's a different conversation. It's like, let's just say his current relationship, they were together, they break up, he's on 45. Like I've had these discussions even with like Myron and Fresh and stuff. It's like there's like, obviously if you got all your shit together, everything's going great. Yeah, you can pull like a chick that actually doesn't have kids and is still 25 or 26. But where does that line happen where like, all the chicks you're meeting, it's weird if they don't have kids, right? Yeah. Like there's that line too. And then that's something that a lot of the guys kind of like shy away from. They don't like to talk about that part right there either. Because like at the same time too, like a guy could have like, I was in a relationship and I have like 2 kids. Yeah. I'm not, so I'm a single father.
Well, right? It's like guys will gaslight themselves, or they'll convince themselves. Because you get like, let's be honest, a single mom is motivated to fuck your doors off, right? She's
tell me there's a chance.
If you look like you got your man with benefits, yes, she is a motivated buyer. And so, that's so obviously. So what happens if you got a guy who's like sort of a blue pill beta dude who's just like, he thinks his ship has come in, and if his pastor and everybody else is his pastor, like just society in general, are saying you're a good guy for helping her out, like she was, she's really worth it, right? And all you're doing is from an evolutionary perspective, you are contributing to the extinction of your own, unless you like have kids with her. Like that's what I was saying is like, I think that guys who get with single mothers, it's really sort of a beta male mating strategy right now, because it's a path of least resistance.
Now I want to hear your thoughts on this, because we have both made really all right. So there was a stream we did a long time ago where you predicted that the red pill was going to go political, right? And then on that same stream, I said, I think this Looksmaxxing stuff's going to blow up one of these days. And it did, right? Right. My next prophecy is that I don't know if it's going to be clavicular, but one of these Looksmaxxing guys is going to start pushing something called gene maxing.
Oh my God. Okay. Explain it. We need an explanation.
So here's the simplest version of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is the one where most guys would get this. All right. I am 5'5". I am not. But let's just say I'm 5'5". I am going to chop down some Amazonian chick, sacrifice my SMV, so my children are taller in the future. Right? This is gene maxing. And some guys do this. And if some guys I will sacrifice myself. I know I'm cucking myself out because my wife's taller than me. I don't like this, but I'm doing this sacrifice, this noble sacrifice for my genetic line to ascend, right? This is going to be a major thing in a couple of years. I'm telling you, gene maxing is coming because it's why. Now, they're going to honey dick people with like, that's a nicer version. Then they're going to more and this until eventually you're like, now this is where like the SMV and the gene maxing and the Looksmaxxing comes in. You guys, here's the hack. Here's the hack. You never pull that 9 out of 10 chick, but she has 2 kids from 2 different dads. She's now at 6, bro. I know. You're a self-respecting red pill man, but I am telling you, Rolo. Sacrifice for now, so your children can ascend later.
I see.
I'm telling you, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This gene maxing shit is the next wave. That it's because I'm starting to see like it's like they've almost co-opted like Clavicle a little bit to like start like leaning like I know he's like, I'm not trying to be political, but you know he bigged up Gavin Newsom, you know, and like you know what I'm saying. Like I saw the line, I was like, oh, they're gonna pull some fucking like Democratic line on this shit at some point with this gene maxing shit.
Tall girls are lonely.
Yeah, let me get these real quick here. God Emperor Rolo, my ex tried to use my dog as a tether to keep me under her thumb. I kept my dog and cut all communications off. Keeps saving lives. Okay.
What a bitch.
No, man.
What I was
the men's dog. Thank you for teaching men man shit. Yes. I can't believe these absolute wipes. God, I love the English like vernacular. That's Christianity for you. Remember the patron saint of fathers, Joseph, mortal father of Jesus, got there. God got there before Joseph did. You know what's funny is I hear like, we kind of laugh at, oh yeah, he got mogged by God. Like how do you, he got pushed out. But in a sense, like Joseph was God's cuck, right? That's listen, and you bring that up and people will get pissed. But if you go to the church and they're talking about single mothers on Mother's Day, they'll start talking about how Mary was a single mother, and you know technically she was, because she was the baby was somebody else's baby, and Joseph stepped up. He wasn't the stepdad; he was the guy who stepped up. It just depends on who's telling the story. If it's coming from the women's ministry, or if it's coming from like the guys in the red pill, it just depends on who's relating it.
God mobbed. God
mobbed. I was going to say something based on what you brought up with the gene maxing, and I kind of started to giggle because you're right. Due to the internet, it's going to get autistic. But here's the thing: like a part of human attraction, not all of human attraction, is already that. Like that's already built into us naturally. Like women, for example, have a much stronger.
We're all equal.
Yeah. Like women have a stronger olfactory system, which is your sense of smell, than men do. And they literally subconsciously can smell certain genetic disorders that we may have, or if they have it inherent to them, can smell out that we don't have it. So when we reproduce, there's a better chance that like, I don't want to call it a faulty gene, but the word's escaping me right now. That like negative recessive gene, I think it is, actually gets filtered out when you have kids. So we already do that. Yeah, like we already do that naturally. We just don't get autistic about it. But I can definitely
it's going to get autistic. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
100%.
There's something called fraud maxing.
But no. Yeah.
Have you guys heard of fraud maxing, right?
What's
fraud
that?
max. That's basically where you put on, this is for girls and guys, you put on makeup, you put on fake like a muscle suit, you know, it's like cosmetic
Did
stuff,
you
right?
see, speaking of that, did you see that Clav shoulder pads? Mother.
Yeah. But he's doing that. He was doing that for fucking views. I mean, like he's not really wearing those.
You got to remember that's part of the narrative. It's part of it. It's the shtick. It's professional wrestling. It's kayfabe.
This is the new thing in the fraud maxing side of this. Dude, I'm so interested with the soul sector. I love it. It's like it's my fucking popcorn and candy.
We need to do just a full show, me and you, when you get back. Man.
Yeah, fraud max, bro. Yeah. But here's the new one. All right, just because you brought it up kind of in a way without knowing it. Guys are now experimenting with. Well, hear this. Gel and like spray on DHT.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you know how DHT, if you have a lot of it, your hair will fucking
fall out. Yeah.
Right. But people are doing a topical version of and putting it on their elbows where like it's still like basically, and then people are having like these crazy like girls and like they're having even guys are like, bro, you're so funny, dude. Holy shit, bro. Because it's like they're putting out these pheromones and shit. I mean, but it's also very stupid because it will eventually bleed into your fucking system, and then these dummies are like starting to put DHT on their fucking dick and balls and on their fucking chin to try to masculinize this area, and then they're gonna fucking cook their hairline.
Yeah.
So I used to work in a sex shop back in university, and so I know a lot of really weird things because of that experience.
Nice.
But that sort of bullshit's always been around. Like, I remember in the sex shop we sold pheromone cologne and all that shit. Like, it hasn't changed. The only thing that's really changed is because of social media and because back in the day, and because I'm older, and Rolo, you can probably relate to this. In your group of friends, you would usually have some dumbass, but when he said some dumb shit, your group of buddies would be like, dude, shut up. Yeah. Now, because of the internet, that dummy gets to go online, find other dummies just like him, and create an echo chamber of retardation. And this is how you get autistic shit, like dudes like overloading on DHT.
Yes, it's coming, and that's actually like what Clavicular did to himself. Like, if you believe that he took testosterone as a 14-year-old, he blasted Mastron in order to masculinize and make himself look older. Which and then he's like, it totally makes your junk big. I mean, which there is something to say, like, you basically force your puberty to like an overdrive, so overdevelopment, but like it's dangerous, and two, like, it could work, but like you can only do it when you're that young.
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's gonna. I mean, he's basically gonna ruin his sperm. There's no way he's gonna have like swimmers anymore. Like, as the young guys who do trend, that's exactly what happens to those. Yeah.
Oh,
there's another one too. You can height max too, but like it's dangerous. It's so you basically crush your estrogen while you're in puberty, and what girls are shorter because their estrogen spikes up, and that closes their bone plates sooner, basically. So they stop growing. So guys are starting to do guys who are a lot shorter, they've always injected themselves with like growth hormones. Pretty normal, right? Nothing.
Clearly, you've never been to the Netherlands.
Yeah. Well, shorter. I mean, so now normal people, and this is being done, like they're injecting themselves with growth hormone. But the trick is to give yourself something like an anti-estrogen, just to crush your estrogen lower, and people are getting like 2 to 3 extra inches of height.
Oh, so earlier on in there, but like,
but it has to be during puberty. During puberty,
yeah, I was gonna say, because there's gonna have to be. You would have to hit it at the right time.
Yeah. So if you love your children,
the downstream negative effects of this is going to be ridiculous. Because the one thing that gets me, and this is kind of my rant, this is kind of getting off of red pill shit, but like, you have to do your research when doing anything hormonal, and like, do your research, know what you're up for. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't understand how hormones actually work. People think hormones work like levers, like this hormone does this hormone does that, this hormone does that. No, it doesn't work that way. It's more like musical notes in forming a chord, or levels of certain colors to create another color. Like, in whatever function you have, there's never ever a single hormone that is directing that physical or neurological change. It's actually various hormones at various levels. And when you start fucking with that, it causes a lot of negative downstream effects. So these young guys fucking around with hormones, I guarantee they don't have the fucking slightest idea what they're doing. Come 20, 30 years later, they're more than likely going to be living miserable lives.
But Stripper, I listened to Huberman. I know exactly what hormones do.
I mean, that's the thing is like, I mean, I do TRT. I've been on TRT for a while. I think Miguel's been on TRT for a bit, right?
No, I'm about to get on in April, like a little after my birthday.
Well, like, did you see that tweet?
After my birthday.
Did you see that tweet of like Clavicular when he was like talking about like the stuff, like his stack, basically all the peptides and all the
bro, it was a laundry list, dude. I was like, what the fuck, man?
I was looking at this, so I'm running down the thing and it goes, HGH, okay, that I get. And then he's talking about like how he's on like taking micro doses of like methamphetamines, which is horseshit. There's no way he's taking that. And then And then GLP and retatrutide or whatever the fuck. And then he throws in, oh, and I take Anavar to like balance my cortisol levels. I'm like, yeah, you do.
then doesn't work out for 4 fucking months to the point where like he actually started getting self-conscious about because everybody who would be in person would be fucking strong. Bro, that bench video took me out. I couldn't fucking believe that. Bro, I know girls that can bench more than that.
That's the inner fat kid. That's him. Yeah. He got up. He okay. Listen.
No, yeah, he doesn't.
Wait, hold on. Like, if you take TRT and all that shit, yes, you still have to work out. So don't get me wrong what I'm about to say. But in his case, he cheated his way there because he did. Let's be honest here. He took way more than TRT and all that crap. But he never, again, be attractive. Don't be unattractive. He never did the second part. He never changed his behavior. That's why as soon as he got where he wanted to be, he just dropped off. You know, where it's like, oh, I got the fame. I got what I wanted. That's not how a good physique works. It's maintenance. You have to keep doing it. You can't eat McDonald's every day, not in large amounts at least, and expect you're still as shredded as he used to be. Because I've seen photos. He looked good. Where I was like, God damn, I wish I was that shredded.
But it's way skinnier than you think it is too. That's another thing too. Is like he's like I think about 6'2". I think he's 6'2". And that's one of the crazy shit about losing weight. It's like in your head, you're like, oh, I might have to lose 20 pounds. And you're like, nah, bro, it's probably like 35 to 40 to get down to where you think you want to be in your head.
And also when you're shredded, like you're going to look so scrawny in clothing. You really need like shredded clothing where it's like an extra small t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, Hide Yamagishi told me, he says, any shirt can be a muscle shirt.
Yeah. And I was literally talking to Larry Wheels about this actually last night, actually. Like Kyle told me, man, you hype mogged him. I was like, all right, calm down. but he's a good dude, and we were kind of talking about this, and I mean, we were going to go over steroids and stuff, and then he was just saying like some guy like Phil Heath who won the Mr. Olympia, like he's like, no, he actually didn't take that much steroids. He was just on point with this shit. He's like, there's guys who are blasting grams, but like they're not eating 6 meals a day. They're not really working hard. They don't have an actual professional trainer that's pushing them to that fucking next level. Like go train at Powerhouse.
True.
They'll get you in shape. It's true. Like I mean, fuck, man, Powerhouse is legit if you want a gym or Dragon's Lair is pretty good too as well.
Do you two go to the same gym?
Yeah. Just sometimes I've got like 4 different gym memberships.
I'm there in the mornings. Yeah, that's the only one I have is Powerhouse. So
Honest question. What do you have to take in combination with TRT?
Tren, Mastron.
No, like in all seriousness.
It's funny. Good question, because I talked about this with my guys in Reignite. I had Drew Bay on. Drew Bay he's part of Masculine Geek, which we were on last night, right? That's his stick. I mean, he's a masters level bodybuilder. He's 52 and he competes in masters division bodybuilding contests. He was natty for a while, and then he says, you know what, I'm never going to be able to get to the level I need to without +1. So he's already on TRT, but he's he'll do master on blasts and stuff like that, and he does it scientifically. Like a good resource for this is Dr. Todd Lee. He's a good friend of mine. He, by the way, listens to Slayer, listens to the same kind of music we do, plays Warhammer 40,000. Why wouldn't he be in my friends list, right? Good dude to talk to, who is a actual he has a degree, he has a doctorate. He is a medical doctor, MD, and he specializes in nothing but like gear and
IFBB Pro too, right?
I gotta have him come out. Like, honestly, I think he is personally responsible for the Masteron shortage, but that's between me and him.
No, you're absolutely right, and he flipped it. Like he flipped it straight up from like he put that shit on. Because Mastron used to be the cheapest like steroid you could buy, basically, and now it is like on par with like I don't know, like what's that? Oh my god, I forgot the name of it. Not Annabelle or Slayer, lol. Slayer. But like there's a bunch of these other designer drugs and stuff that now, but like you know what, this is actually something interesting that like it's being talked a lot about right now in the bodybuilding circles, is that like there's guys are taking peptides and they're getting used to injecting themselves, and they're like, why am I not growing muscle? Peptides will help you lose weight, burn fat.
Not gonna do
it doesn't build muscle, dogs. And then people are taking like these ones piss me off. There's like these retarded peptides about boosting fucking IGF-1, which it really doesn't, and boosting growth hormone. Just take growth hormone if you're going to do that. Like, what's the fucking point?
Retta. By the way, Retta is Retatrutide. It is a better. It's starting.
Better
I don't know if it's FDA approved just yet, but it's
about to be. It's about to be
much better version of Ozempic or semaglutide is what it is, without the side effects. And everybody in the bodybuilding communities are using Retta right now. I was going to say that would be one of my to answer your question, Jack, is TRT is where you start. Then Anavar is probably the most like
benign,
vanilla, I guess.
Or is TRT one of those things like once you start, you'll never be big enough kind of thing?
Well, I mean,
it can be.
It depends on your personality. Do you go to the gym? Like there's guys on TRT that don't go to the gym, but it makes effort feel good for sure. It's testosterone cypionate. It's the vanilla of testosterone too, right? It's not a steroid. It's not an anabolic steroid. Everybody,
no.
That mistake. It's testosterone. There's a difference between synthetic testosterone and an anabolic. Okay, and I will defer to Todd Lee, MD, but. So what most bodybuilders are doing is their stack is usually some form of testosterone and then an anabolic and sometimes a combination of those anabolics. So and Anadrol, or not Anadrol, well, Anadrol's one, but Anavar with Masteron, and you do that for 4 to 8 weeks, and then again you're going to have to like figure out what works for you, because it just depends on what your biochemistry in your body is about. Always do blood work.
Everyone has different side effects. Shout out to Todd Lee's handling my stuff too.
Yes. Insulin. I see insulin in the chat. Insulin comes in later on. If you're doing trend, you better look up what insulin does, because you're going to need it, right? It just depends on what it is that what you're cycling, I guess. But
99% of you guys are never going to use insulin. 99%
need to, because you're not, unless you're competing in the Mr. O, you probably don't need that. And trend, like don't even not even once. Like
no, man, I just want to have my T level at healthy. Yeah, I just want to have them at healthy levels and things like that. But I keep hearing mixed messages like, if you take T, you need to take this as well. And it's like, well, everybody says something different, and I'm like, well,
let's just sell you a supplement. That's why. Peptides are great. I've used what have I used in the past? I've used BPC 157 for healing. That's just the Wolverine healing stack. I've used Clavicular uses it too. It's melanotan too.
You're using melanotan. Wow.
If you're white and pasty like me and Jack, it will increase. You still have to go out in the sun, but you will be more prone to getting tan as a result of.
I did notice that at a certain point. Wait, what is Rolo using spray tan or something? But no, that was
melanotan too. Is what it is. I usually in the summertime I look a little bit tanners because I'm cycling to melanotan too.
It also can make you leaner too, because it also crushes appetite as well.
Yeah. And then technically semaglutide is a peptide, right? It's Ozempic is a peptide.
Yeah, GLP-1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
There was a guy that I knew out west that he went to get his blood work done because he thought he was on low T, and I wish I could remember the name of the hormone that he was actually low in, because his testosterone levels were fine. He's around the same age as me, which is like mid-40s. And I forget what hormone it was, but they upped that, and he said like the next day he feel like he could lift a car and his gains improved in the gym. And it had nothing to do with testosterone. It was actually like a minor like assisting hormone. And I wish I could remember what the name of it was, but that upped it, and it made like miles of improvement for him. So like, I'm not against like messing with hormones. Like I don't do it personally, but like if you do it, the only thing I would say is like really get educated, make sure you have like the proper people around you, so you're not really fucking shit up.
Reasons. That's why I want to do it, but I mean not yet. Like at 40, like I've always said.
How old are you, Jack? How old are you, Jack?
I am 35.
All right, it's time to blast, bro. I'm sorry. Bro. I don't want we're all a couple years. Everyone come here.
Not yet.
Enough's enough, bro. Your hair's gonna make it, dude. Don't worry.
Like,
Oh yeah, no, thank the Lord for that. There was a moment I was afraid, but it's like even my barber said it's like shut the fuck up. I've been
you're gonna-
cutting your hair since 16. You're fine. But no, like health reasons and longevity reasons, and then it's like okay, TRT, and I think, like I said, I'm kind of a novice in this. You do have to check your estrogen levels as well.
Yes.
Whereas, like,
yes.
yeah, because that's
Because
gonna
they go
mix each other
yeah.
up, and as long as you keep those two balanced, you're gonna be fine.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do? Just go do blood work and see where your levels are at for all that shit. Just like
you know what the thing
basic
is?
blood work. Yeah.
I did blood work in the Netherlands and they were like, oh, your T levels are fine. They're average. I'm like, yeah, but I know that what you consider average is low. So
Right.
I don't trust
Like,
you.
what are
So
they?
I want to go to like an actual clinic kind of
Like,
thing.
if you're in the state of Nevada, anyways, if you are below 500, you're eligible for TRT. I don't know how it works in other it might be a state by state thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's state by state.
But so I was at like 485 when I got tested, and then so now I fluctuate between 800 and 1,000 depending on what I'm doing, right? But like if I'm just doing right now, because I'm gonna go into surgery pretty soon, so I'm not doing anything.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm probably about maybe 700, 600. I might be a little low right now. Because all I'm doing is just TRT, right? I'm just doing like Cypionate, but and you're right. You have to educate yourself. I think a lot of people think, well, I'll just shoot trend and I'll get big.
No.
When I worked in the gym, I mean, so many young guys as well. They were on SARMs and they were on Anavar, things like that. And like Stripper mentioned, those guys are going to hit the wall at 30 and it's not going to be pretty. There was one guy who broke his wrist. And of course, you can still work out. You know, you can still do legs, things like that. Of course, he didn't do it. Kid got tremendously fat.
Mm-hmm. Testosterone does not make you lose your hair, or it doesn't, or keep it either way. It's actually the anabolics that convert to DHT that make you lose your hair. From what I know, this is from what I've learned from Todd Lee. It's the DHT. So what happens is depending on the anabolic that you're on, like Anavar is like you won't lose your hair on Anavar, but you start doing trend, you probably will lose your hair because it converts to estrogen, and it also converts to DHT because your body will respond to having it in your system with other things that Stripper was saying. So it's like it's not just shoot it and you're good. You have to watch other things, which is why we got to get blood work all the time to see what's going high. Sometimes it'll fuck with your kidneys too. So you have to be careful of that kind of stuff too. What's going on with your kidneys? What's going on with your hormones? That's why if you're going to do a cycle of like something serious, like trend is as serious as it gets, right? You got to do blood work so that you can keep an eye on what's going on with the rest of your system, right? What the rest of your hormones and how it's responding to having that in your system. And remember, especially if you're doing like something like trend and you do an ethynate, it's going to be in your body for a long ass time, right? If you're doing it in a Cypionate, or you're doing a propionate, like it's going to.
You mean acetate, right? The acetate. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is the difference is that people don't know the difference between Cypionate, propionate, ethynate, and acetate. Right? Those are just delivery devices, right? So it's like ethynate is going to stay in your body. It's like oil based, right? So it's going to stay in your body longer,
slower to build up, basically.
So you don't have to do multiple injections, right? So if you look at an ethynate, it's going to have like 400 per one draw, right? You do half of that and you're good for the week, man. But like if you're doing propionate, you might be doing every other day just to keep things at a level. It just depends on what you're training for. And that's another thing. What the fuck are you doing it for? Like, are you doing it for a competition?
Bitches, Rolo, bitches. That's what I'm doing this for.
Yeah. What are you like? That's really what it was. I remember.
I want to be 110. That's what I want to be.
I'm like Sartain. I want these bitches with fake tits, bro. Like I'm tired of fucking not living my truth.
Miguel's the only one who will get this, but like I remember when I first started working out with Hide Yamagishi, he goes, "Yeah, what are your fitness goals?" And I looked over at Alvaro and I'm like, "I want to look like that motherfucker right there. That's my fitness goal." All right, we got to wrap. We're already over time.
Can I say one thing about the testing?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Finishing thoughts.
Because like I was doing all this research just because I'm going to get on TRT soon, and I've been like just deep diving into all this stuff, and basically like the hair shit. There's guys who have like these god tier genetics where like they're super responders to testosterone, and their hair is like basically like grape proof, and they're fine. There's guys who like they touch it right away and they start shedding. right away because of the massive boost to the DHT, the conversion from test to DHT. And basically I'm sorry. And then the other ones are like some guys get a bunch of acne as well. And then some guys get a lot of acne, like super acne. And it's all in between. So it's like, you don't know what happens to you, but usually if you stay on a very low dose, just kind of baseline, the side effects aren't that crazy, basically. But
I can't lose my hair, man. My hair is part of the brand at this point. They know me by the goofy haircuts. I can't lose that shit.
My head is now shaved, by the way. So just to let everybody know.
And here's another thing. So like there's something called finasteride and dutasteride.
Yeah.
That stops so if you take a 1 milligram tablet of finasteride, it will knock 60 to 70% of your serum levels of DHT from your blood. So they basically stop you from losing your hair. If you're still losing hair, you take dutasteride. That is the fucking Tessa bomba. It will like knock you down 90, 100%. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that guys take this without taking TRT, because if you're already losing, here's a big problem is that guys who are already losing their hair without TRT and they do that, you could have massive libido problems, and there's like there's complications with it. The risks when someone's taking TRT with that drop dramatically to almost like it's very rare, basically, because you have this outside source. It basically your libido stays in most guys as long as their dick works. They're all happy, basically. And also, here's another thing: it only protects you. So it only protects you from DHT created from testosterone and Superdraw for some fucking weird reason. If you take Primobolan or Anavar at high dose, extremely high doses, or you take any of these other steroids, it will not block the conversion of DHT from those. So you're like, I'm taking these pills right now, but you're blasting trend like crazy. Doink. It was like, what the fuck? I'm taking finasteride, and I'm taking all because it only blocks testosterone.
I know that there's supposed to be, it's in development right now, and I don't think it's going to be commercially available until like next year or the year after, but there's supposed to be some sort of new drug that's going to be marketed that will actually regrow your hair. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's a pill or some shit like that, but it will regrow your hair, and it will rapidly regrow your hair too.
Yeah. And also that,
I don't know the technology or the science behind it, but I do know that it's coming because I've seen several articles on it.
There's a peptide that's really good that I am taking is like GLKCU, which is the copper peptide. That has like helped me a lot in terms of I've seen like a lot of hair regrowth. I've literally grown my entire like hairline down an inch. It's fucking crazy. And it with microneedling, and it works. It's also like cleared my face up. I used to still get acne a little bit, and it's like nuked it. I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool, but it's annoying because you have to inject it every day.
Heroes Forge, great show, gentlemen. The documentary was just a hit piece. Oh, well, yeah, clearly. Yeah. Obviously framed that way, not to inform important topic. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow with Mike Sartain, a little bit more depth. Important topic, bonus TRT talk is on point. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, we should do a TRT show. I wonder if I bet Todd Lee would be up for a show with us. Miguel,
I can show the peptide if you want. Do you get in trouble for
that? I might.
Okay, I won't do it, but
hold off on that. Anyways, Jack, what do you got going on?
What I have got going on Monday, I will do a breakdown live stream of the interview that Lewis did with Modern Wisdom. You can tune into that via the link in the chat right now. I also passed 4,100 subscribers yesterday, so thank you very much. We're on the road to 5K. And I think we're going to get that this year. Also, I just released a new essay on my Substack, which you can also go to via the link in the chat, jacknapier.substack.com. If you decide to support my work there, you will get over 100 essays, 3 free audiobooks, private community, and a monthly Q&A. And, of course, the last one, the book on women, 200 pages of condensed red pill lessons, successes, failures, and notes swapped with a beautiful cover by Ryan Stone. Forward by Rob Says.
Misogyny.
Oh, there's a lot of that in here. But link to that will be in the chat as well. And that's it from me.
Cool. Stripper, do you have anything going on? What?
Yeah, I actually do. I don't usually plug my writing, but given that Ryan, and I'm going to trust his opinion, said the mental model that I lifted from the BDSM community is new to the red pill space. I wrote about it. It's basically just an axis of kind of sexual activities where you could go, maybe where you are. Please do give it a read. I believe it's called Stripper's Access of Fucking is what I named it. But give it a read. It's on Substack, and that's where you'll find me. Thanks.
Cool beans. All right, Miguel, tell them about Cultivate Crypto.
I'm definitely going to read that, man. But yeah, so right now we got the crypto mindset course is live. It's a mega course. So basically we are going to buy the lows on Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Solana 50 when?
Fire sale.
Fire sale. We are, it looks like we're heading up for the next month or so, but we will get a dip later on in the year. And that's going to be this big opportunity. So we're just setting people up to get everything ready. I am actually going to do a bonus webinar on literally peptides and hair as well. Like I literally have helped guys in my like literally how to use like a micro needling pen, micro needling pen and stuff. And this, it really works. It's just like you have to stick with it, and like it's insane. Like you can grow a beard, you can grow if you want to grow a beard, and your hair's grown back. There's a lot of cool stuff, and like I've done a lot of research into peptides as well. I have I protect the innocent in there, so of course. So, but it's going to be over a month long like series and stuff. Where we basically, I'm going to be off of YouTube for the whole month of April. We're going to be teaching classes for the entire time, like 2 days on, 2 days off, over 8 hours of light content. And we've taught about 19,000 people from the red pill space about crypto.
Yeah. How long is the crypto mindset already going? Ever since I met you,
it's been going on 5+ years since 2020. Oh, actually,
get on it, guys. Miguel and Charlie are great when it comes to crypto and investing. They helped out me a lot. So. I'll vouch for them any day.
We are the crypto gurus of the stars, of the red pill stars. Every person in the red pill has we've helped them out with their crypto stuff, or at least like advised them on something here and there. And if there's ever a time to buy some crypto, it's going to be in the next 6 months. It's the easiest money you can make. But here's the problem: is that the best time to buy is when it's not sexy, and right now it's not sexy.
Yeah,
and that's it, man.
Sold at 50 when?
Yeah, I will tell you. I'm gonna call people.
God, I wish. I'll take it at 80 right now. Anyways, so what do I have going on? My show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, The Rational Male. Me and Mike Sartain will be doing a dedicated show to the Manosphere debacle that it is. We're going to clean up everybody's mess for them. And let's see. Again, if you're going to do crypto mindset, you can use my link that's in the chat right now. Again, you can pick up my books, and why haven't you, at Amazon.com, The Rational Male, the definitive works of the Manosphere and the Red Pill that nobody seems to want to read or recognize. Let's see, I've also got my Reignite group, reignitealpha.com. We are having our Miami meetup is going to be the middle of May. That's going to be from the 6th I'll be there from the 12th to the 18th. The white party for Babes in Toyland will be on the 16th, but our annual fishing trip is going to be on the 14th. It's already booked. It'll be on the 14th of May out of Miami, out of Biscayne Bay. I have 3 slots open. I've got two people already took me up. We can only get 6 people on the boat, so it's me plus 5, and so now we're down to 3. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I'll let you know what the pricing is for the trip. That's a standalone thing. We also have the Reignite meetup that's down there. If you want to be a part of that, that's also inclusive. So just hit me up or hit my friend Joe Marone up. We're going to be doing a podcast on Tuesday, the 17th of March, and we're going to do a dedicated show about that. We're going to do a full Reignite show, and then me and Miguel, we really need to do a crypto show. I guess maybe Monday or Wednesday, one of those days. Sometime this week. Back when are you back? Anyways,
I am back probably Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday. Yeah, okay. I'll be back and stuff like that. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, fellas. Well, with that said, don't take the Manosphere, documentary serious. I don't think anybody is. But I think right now the lesson to take away from all of this is watch how everybody responds, because everybody's colors will come out. As I said, Brett Cooper will do it if she hasn't already. We'll do something about this. Matt Walsh will do something. It's easy, quick, podcast fodder. So watch and learn who your friends are and who they aren't. With that said, I will see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching, and I will take us out this way. Oh, not that one. Here we go.
Toodles.
Would you like to know more?
Preceding podcast has been a production of The Irrational Male and Rule Zero. All rights reserved. 2026. Registered trademark.